everyone, internet. I am Philip Silverman here at MTGCardmarket live, joined as always by my counterpart.
My name is Greg Schaefer. I just saw an epic misclick by Phil trying to start the stream. Clicked through our attack phase, so that was unfortunate.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah,
the lesson I've learned today. Bringing you some modern action tonight here from beautiful Chicago, Illinois, in a pretty uncharacteristically warm February night.
Yeah, and a lot of people showed up. It seemed like maybe 30 or 40 people out there.
Yeah, we regularly get a lot of people from Modern here, and it's, I don't know why I'm always surprised by it, but it's pretty great.
It's because, like, we do Legacy coverage usually.
Yeah.
And that's Thursday nights tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And Modern just gets, like, a crap ton of people.
Oh, at least, like, 4 times as many consistently. But yeah, got a couple players seated right now, ready to play. We got Simon Camero playing Blue-White Merfolk, and playing against Sam Feldman, who I don't know what Sam is playing right now. We're going to find out.
Yeah, we will. And I think a lot of our players in-house tonight are preparing for SCG Regionals, which is this weekend. There's one location pretty close to our store. Yeah. Just a train ride away.
Yep. Greg and I will both be there battling. Greg has no idea what he's going to... No, Greg has some idea of what he's going to play.
I have some ideas, both of which are tribal.
Yes. Whereas I will probably be playing Tribal Giants.
Yes.
I think is where I'm talking about. I'm embracing the homeless beanie because it's winter, all right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to just check real quick, see if our players are ready. Looks like they're shuffling up, getting ready. We can at least leave this here. Simon going to be on the left playing Blue-White Merfolk, as we said. Pretty excited to play some Modern this weekend. I haven't played Modern in a while.
Yeah, I have not either since the pre-TQ. The last time it was the pre-TQ format, which was like fall.
Wow, you haven't played. Oh, I played in Pittsburgh at least at the Grand Prix, but yeah, I have not played since Grand Prix Pittsburgh, and the deck I played at that tournament is no longer legal.
Sure.
Amulet Bloom, R.I.P. Splinter Twin, R.I.P. Greg and I did do commentary at the 2K here a little while back, which was pretty awesome, but we haven't actually gotten to. Neither of us, I know, have gotten a chance to play.
Yeah, I mean, we have watched a lot of games, though, and we've read a lot about the format because we're both trying to prepare for regionals. And we're both going to GP Detroit, which is coming up in March,
yes,
which is also Modern.
Yes.
And, we're just, addicted to Magic.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing there. Will, I'm assuming that means you're going to be playing Black-White Tokens, which is a pretty great deck. I'd be curious to know how many, what your combination of 4-drops are in the deck.
How many Thought-Knot Seers?
Ooh, Thought-Knot Seer is a nice one. I think that Thought-Knot Seer is going to have a big showing at the Pro Tour, personally, and possibly a big showing elsewhere. Oh, let's see what Sam's playing here.
Looks like red cards.
Is that Aether Vial?
Is this Goblins?
It looks like Goblins.
This is Goblins with Aether Vial.
Oh, man. Are we really seeing a tribal battle here?
I think he might be pondering... Oh, God. Simon's going to love this.
Yeah.
Simon, a former Goblins player in Legacy.
He has the Modern deck in his bag. He has a Goblins deck on him.
Well, his build never played Aether Vial.
No, he never played Aether Vial, and his is much more aggressive. Looks like we got a Mountain fetched up, followed by an Aether Vial. Yep.
Let's see if this is a... All right, I don't think Simon has the Vial, but he does have Curse Catcher to keep up.
Yeah.
Applying pressure to the board.
Yeah, that's how it works. Curse Catcher known for the pressure apply. Curse Catcher's most relevant ability, what is it again? It's type?
It's attack for 2.
Yeah, Curse Catcher's most relevant ability is Creature Merfolk.
Yes.
But yeah, it looks like Sam is playing a Goblins deck, which I'm pretty excited to see. This used to be a classic Legacy battle.
Yeah, I wonder. It's hard for me to envision exactly how far up the curve he's going. Like, is he going to Kiki Jiki?
Or like Siege Game? He's got to have like Siege Game Commander.
Okay. Krenko.
Krenko seems excellent. I don't. Yeah. You do have haste making goblins with Goblin King. Mm-hmm. You don't like. I just like have a tough time remembering what Modern goblins are legal because I can only think of the Legacy ones. All right, turn 2, Goblin Pile Driver coming in. Pile Driver, notably ridiculous in this matchup. Although Simon, this is a benefit that Simon reaps from being white, is that he does have access to Path to Exile, whereas most Merfolk decks just have no answer to a Pile Driver.
Yeah, it's just moat.
It's not mode anymore. Or at least we see the Spreading Seas come down. And it looks like the Spreading Seas did draw Simon white mana. He drew Seacrum Coast off that.
Yeah, so, Simon being a really nice guy and giving Sam an island here.
Yeah, he's just trying to spread the love.
Steak and Whiskey. Phil and I are actually not going to be the commentators for the next 2K because it falls on the same weekend as GP Houston, which we are both flying to together because we are crazy people.
I tricked him. into doing it.
We had a place to stay for free, so that helped.
And we found a pretty cheap flight.
And Phil really wanted to buy a cowboy hat.
That is legitimately what I'm into.
Yeah.
Sam casting a Dragon Fodder here, getting 2 goblins. Unfortunately, one of haste, unless he has some 2-drop that gives them haste.
Maybe Goblin Bushwhacker? No.
Nope, it's a 1-drop. Come on, Greg, remember your goblins.
I was thinking that he still had a land drop to make, but he does not.
I'd be interested to know if there are Reckless Bushwhackers in his deck.
I would bet yes.
All right. Pile Driver getting in there for 1. Taste it.
Reckless Bushwhacker is pretty awkward with Vial, though.
Definitely. I mean, so both Bushwhackers are.
Yeah, that's true.
Since they both require mana to be cast.
Yeah.
All right, Simon rearranging his mana here. We got Lord of Atlantis.
All right.
It might be a little hard for Simon to keep up, given how given the Vial.
All right, so he activates Vial and nothing.
God, I love the Vial bluffs.
Yeah, it was just to make Simon sweat a bit.
Sam taking 2 there, but Simon knowing that his creature was going to be unblockable basically no matter what because of the Lord and the and Sam's nice little island there.
Yeah, the only thing that could have gotten Simon there was something like Bolt, but he could have always just like sacked the Curse Catcher to save his Lord of Atlantis then.
So Sam drew a copy of Blood Moon, so it looks like he's playing main deck Blood Moon here.
That's hateful.
Seems not bad.
And Simon's build, like, he is a lot softer to Blood Moon because of the white splash.
There are not many basics in his deck. He does, thankfully, have an island in play.
He has one of, like, 3 or something.
But it is going to be tough for him to cast a lot of his spells.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
This is a lot of damage.
Here's Goblin Chieftain.
This Pile Driver is coming across for 4, 5, 6 by itself.
Let's see.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
10,
7,
right?
8, 9, 10. Good
Jeez.
Lord. Simon's at 9. I think Simon might just be dead.
This is kind of what happens in most Vial mirrors when one player has it and the other does not.
Yep. Simon casting Silvergill Adept, revealing Harbinger of the Tides. Do we drop anything?
You need to draw an island, not a mountain.
Or, yeah, Polluted Delta getting in there. We'll see if he has any answer to this Pile Driver, but I think this is just going to be lethal from Sam. Pile Driver looking pretty outstanding against the effectively mono blue deck.
Yeah, main deck Blood Moon's not looking too shabby either.
It's uncommon knowledge that how good Blood Moon is against this blue-white Merfolk deck.
Like, Simon might have had a chance if he had been able to, use the Mutavault to block the Pile Driver, but the way that Blood Moon has just crippled what he's able to actually do is just...
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, he's just lost the Blood Moon.
Okay, Simon trading away his board and going to 1 here, and Goblin Grenade you. That's a nice way to finish things off. Sam taking game 1 here against Simon. Player's going to go to game 2. Simon will be on the play. We'll see what Simon has to board. I told him to play a Celestial Purge, so that would help.
I wonder if Gutshy is good in this matchup.
I believe it is. It seems honestly.
Actually, I don't know if they're good.
Well, given what Sam just showed you, he showed you nothing that you wanted to Gutshy. A 1/1 Goblin token.
Path would be nice against Goblin Pile Driver.
Celestial Purge is pretty good too.
Okay.
We'll see if he's got a Purge or something like that. I'm not sure what Sam has in his sideboard. Looks like there's a Tormod's Trip. That's not coming in.
Is he getting more sleeves out?
Believe so.
Or is he getting tokens?
Oh, yes! Now those are some Goblin tokens. Yeah, Simon demonstrating his Goblin prowess here.
Yeah.
What do you think's coming out for Simon? Probably something like Harbinger of the Tides?
I think Harbinger is good.
You think it's good?
I think you kind of have to try to race because
that's fair.
You don't really have any you don't really have many trump cards. Master of Waves is good.
I was gonna say Master of Waves seems extremely, extremely good here.
Yeah, I think he has to just try to go for tempoing Sam out, but Sam is probably going for a similar strategy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Vial just seemed like the card that broke it for both players. Like, if Simon has Vial there, he's able to still operate under that Blood Moon.
Right.
But as it stands, nothing. Oh, I can definitely see cutting some Spreading Seas. I saw Simon shave a copy there.
The thing about that is he might need them so he can get his guys.
Yeah, but do you need all 4 though?
Probably, maybe not. Maybe like trim 1.
I think in general, Simon's dudes are going to be bigger. Like
they could be. Yeah.
Sam, like the biggest card by far for Simon is going to be Master of Waves, because Master of Waves is going to be sort of unkillable 4 or so guys that will likely trade with a lot of Sam's creatures.
Yeah.
And because I think normally Sam's plan is just, like, given that he has Dragon Fodder in his deck, there might be other token makers, maybe something like Goblin Rabble Master,
sure,
where he's able to just actually produce more creatures at a faster rate than Simon. Despite the fact, so this will counter Simon's ability to just make bigger guys.
Yeah, I could actually almost see like Curse Catcher coming out.
But then you don't have your 1-drop. How are you gonna counter Dragon Fodder?
Well, you really want to have Aether Vial be your 1-drop.
Well, we can't live in a perfect world.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always have it.
I know.
As much as you like to think you do.
I would.
Ooh, I see a copy of Sudden Shock at the front for Sam. I haven't seen that card in a while.
What is up, Geoffnish in the chat? What card did you say?
Sudden Shock.
Oh, I saw that. The last time I thought about Sudden Shock was probably that Legacy GP.
Oh wow, New Jersey?
Yeah, that card was very good at that tournament.
The card top 8'd that tournament.
Yeah,
in the main deck.
In a ridiculous main deck.
Yeah, the Landstill deck.
Blue-red Landstill.
Man, Landstill? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
That must be the only deck that guy plays.
Maybe. I think that person was like an old school New York player.
Yes, so I'm going to go with what I said. Sunshock, mostly notable in Modern for being one of the better anti-infect sideboard cards.
Yeah.
Also pretty good against Affinity. It stops any Ravager shenanigans.
It was everywhere at GP Chicago several years ago.
2011 or something like that.
I think 12, but yeah.
Yes, 12. It was 2012.
I played Infected that tournament. I ran into a lot of gut shots and a lot of sudden shocks.
Oh, I played Soul Sisters at that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I went 1-2 against Infect.
That's pretty great.
Oh, Pro Tour predictions. We can get into that steak and whiskey. I'm sure Greg and I both have our fair share.
Our friend Evan's gonna win.
Yes,
so we can predict second place after that.
Yeah, I think Evan Smith is locked for first place.
Yeah.
All right, Simon looking at his hand. We'll see how both players look in here. I don't believe Simon has a Vial, though.
Yeah, you have to be pretty critical of any hand that doesn't. All right, so he left in Curse Catcher. I guess that makes sense.
It's a 1-drop, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's probably not changing that much about his board. He just needs like a fast draw out of his deck, which it looks like he has a pretty solid one, actually. He has another blue source in his hand.
Lord of Atlantis.
He has the Lord of Atlantis, Silvergill, and Spreading Seas.
TARDIS Lover, there might be some Tron here. I'm not totally sure. Oh my god, we have so many players here tonight.
Yeah, we have 19 tables, so 38 players.
Almost 40 players.
Yeah.
Wow.
For a Wednesday.
That's insane.
People like Modern.
Yeah. Oh, Sam does have Vial. We'll see if Simon can keep up with it. He's going to shock himself on 2. Ooh, he's going to go with Silvergill, revealing Lord of Atlantis.
And I fear for Simon's survival if there is a Blood Moon in Sam's hand.
Oh, man, that seems devastating. Sam drawing. Find a pile driver. That's a good one.
It is.
Just Progenitus.
It's pretty great right now.
Steak and Whiskey. Evan Smith is a Bloomington, Indiana player who top-8'd Grand Prix Atlanta. And is a friend of ours.
Yeah.
That's the main reason he's top-8'ing.
Yeah.
All right, fetch from Sam here, finding the third different art of Mountain. I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, this is a 7th edition one, I think.
It looks like it very well might be.
I think Simon's were P3K.
Sure.
I love a P3K land. We'll see what Sam's got here to follow up. Might be this Goblin Pile Driver.
More of a fan of
and it is
Portal 2.
Ooh,
or
Second
Age, yeah.
Simon drawing, and I don't believe he hit a land, but he did hit a Spreading Seas on the mountain. Going after that red source seems wise here.
We do see that Sam has another in hand, and Simon, unfortunately, despite having 2 cantrip effects, has failed to hit his 3rd land drop, which is probably going to be crippling here.
Yeah, honestly, this is a lot of the times my issue with the deck is that since you're so reliant on Vial, you are running a very low land count.
Yeah, usually 20 lands.
Yeah, and that just I would always prefer 21.
Yeah, the issue being that you run 20 lands, you want like 2 in your opener, but you also want to
draw a Mutavault.
You want to go up to 4 lands, and stop.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. If you draw another land, you're in trouble. Pile Driver getting in here for 1. See if Sam has a follow up. He's gonna fetch. It's gonna be pretty critical for Simon to draw a land ASAP. Especially if Sam has the Blood Moon, then Simon's asking for a lot, so to speak. Looks like he has another copy of Spreading Seas and several Lords waiting in tow. I mean, if he just if Sam doesn't have Blood Moon, it's just going to be Lord, Lord, Lord.
Yeah.
Which might not be good enough.
Simon is setting up his next turn to be a pretty decent attack for 5. But there are a lot of things that Sam could have to mess that up.
Got a Mog War Marshal coming down for Sam here, making a Goblin.
Of the things that could have been, Simon probably is quite happy about how the turn went for him.
Oh, he also does have Phantasmal Image in his hand.
That is not another land.
Oh, he's going for Spreading Seas on your red mana, and do we find a land?
No. Reflector Mage.
Find Reflector Mage.
The issue with this line is Simon's just getting really far behind the Vial. He might figure that he has to draw more lands to win this game anyway, so might as well play out all of your cantrips immediately.
Yeah, so this is about to be pretty devastating for Simon. Here's 2nd Pile Driver, and I believe Sam has a Chieftain in his hand.
Okay.
He's going to let the Mog War Marshal die, getting a 1/1 Goblin. After taking a Vial, draws. Oh boy. This is...
it's going to be a lot.
This is a lot of damage. This is probably just a 2-turn clock.
So it might be a 1-shot.
I don't think it's quite that much because Simon can block. Well, let's see.
Well, not the Pile Drivers.
1, 2.
Yeah,
that's it. Wow, Sam very quickly on Goblins, very quickly taking down Simon, who unfortunately had to deal with a lot of mana issues in this game.
So each of the Pile Drivers had +10 just from their own trigger.
Holy crap! So it was just lethal?
Yeah, it was very lethal.
Good lord!
Simon couldn't block either of the Pile Drivers.
Yeah, Simon, not drawing any removal spells. Yeah, it's just like I have Path in my deck. I can kill your Pile Driver, but yeah, just didn't see any.
It was a good thing that I gave him a gut shot and he cut a path before this tournament.
Yes, he did board in the Celestial Purge, so I think he had 4 answers to a Pile Driver and just never saw one.
Yeah, that matchup just seemed pretty... I mean, it's not even like it's not that bad. It's just the games in Vial mirrors where one player has it, they look so lopsided most of the time.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt Sam that Simon was just missing his land drops. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Simon taking that one. Sam taking that one down 2-0.
Midrian, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think we should we go out and I can go out and check and see if there's.
I'll talk to the crowd.
Great, we're gonna hop back to the booth and
cool.
you can entertain the troops.
All right, this is a good time for questions, chat. I think we had a couple earlier. Steak and Whiskey. I'm not sure what Evan is going to be playing yet. Phil is definitely closer with Evan than I am. They used to live together in Bloomington, but we can maybe get some info. I would bet, knowing Evan, that he would play either Burn or Affinity. He usually is one to play aggro. Other questions. Cubs fan, I do not know if Tokens Guy is here. I did not get a chance to look around the room too closely, and there are a lot of people out there, which is good. Phil might notice if that person is here, though. As for Red Green Tron, I'm sure there's some of it in the room. I kind of got the sense that with Tron, like, a lot of people just don't really like playing it that much here. There are definitely some advocates for it locally, though. Steak and Whiskey, PT predictions. So I'll definitely talk about this more with Phil in a bit, but some predictions that I personally have. I don't know if I would call them predictions or hopes, but I just hope that there's some blue deck that comes out of hiding, basically, because Twin is gone. You know, that was sort of like the rationale behind banning Twin, is like all other blue decks were suppressed. But hopefully that doesn't mean that just now Snapcaster Mage is not a playable card, because I do like playing that card personally. What else?
Got a match.
Hey, who do we got?
Nick Gajeri. Playing
something wacky.
And I quote, great bears. So, hate bears.
Mm-hmm.
Here we'll hop down. Both players shuffling up right now. Looks like they're sideboarding.
Looks like Nick Gadry is on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Dramoka's command in his Thalia deck.
Look, man. Sometimes you make some commitments. We don't all... I mean, I'm sure there's also Path to Exile in there. Nothing wrong with that.
Definitely. Commander Mouse, thank you for the follow.
Who's Nick playing? Sam Schultz, who's playing he's playing Chord Ghostway type deck.
Yeah, I see the Ghostway at the front there, and I also see an Orzhov Pontiff that he's debating keeping in.
Seems fine.
Seems good.
Kills Thalia, kills Noble Hierarch if you've seen that.
Yeah. Also, like, kills Flicker Wisp if that's in Nick's deck.
Yeah, Flicker Wisp might be there. I want to pull up Ghostway. I remember when
weird card.
So this card spiked after Sam Black made like one video with it. But the deck was so funny to me because it was like 4 Elvish Visionary, 4 Wall of Omens, some Wall of Roots, some Restos, and then just like some Chords and a Kiki Jiki. And
okay.
and then also like and Eternal Witnesses. So it was just everything had like a ridiculous enter the battlefield trigger. And Mana Dorks, I think. I think the only thing that didn't have enter the battlefield triggers were like Birds of Paradise.
Sure.
Maybe Noble Hierarch and Wall of Roots.
Yeah.
Anything that wasn't mana had an enter the battlefield trigger. So the deck was just pretty awesome. It looked really good. But it didn't really catch on. The closest thing that's come around to it has been
Kiki Chord.
Yeah, Jeff Hoagland's Kiki Chord deck.
Yeah.
Which has put up a lot of good results. Besides, I mean, Jeff top-8 back-to-back opens with it, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Christopher O'Brien got 9th with it at the last Classic on Breakers.
Cobb.
Yep, the one and only Cobb. But yeah, the deck has been. I think the deck is sort of cementing itself as a top force in the format.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see any pro teams take the deck and run with it.
Yeah, what's nice about it is that there aren't really many. There are no real hate cards for the deck.
Yeah.
Like I guess like Torpor Orb is not a real option for a number of reasons, mostly being that they can just attack you.
Yeah, it's sort of like Birthing Pod in that sense, where it's sort of amorphous. But
Yeah.
there are going to be some particularly linear strategies. They're probably just going to have a fundamental advantage on speed or how big they go.
Yeah, I think in particular pre-board affinity is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I feel like burn can be pretty tough.
I kind of don't know what the good matchups are
For that deck?
Yeah.
Other mid-range decks probably. And post-board you can do a lot. The power really is in the flexibility of the sideboard.
Right.
Like,
that makes sense.
I know they're like generally Jeff's deck had 3 Lightning Helix in the sideboard, which helps a lot against burn and affinity, and then just a pile of Stony Silences.
Yeah.
So post-board you're able to configure your deck pretty well, and the fact that you have a combo finish means that you don't just die to a lot of the big mana decks or other combo decks.
It seems like the kind of deck that gives the pilot a lot of opportunity, or the opponent to make a lot of gives the opponent a lot of opportunity to make mistakes.
Yes, I would agree with that. There's just like a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of trickiness to it between the Court of Callings.
There's just like a lot of unique cards that could be coming at you.
Yeah, like Eternal Witness in particular, like just in that deck. Yeah, it's really, really excellent. Like the way they operate can be very powerful. Yeah, like even against Tron, like you Fulminator them. You Ewit back Fulminator. You could Fulminator
if you
and
get
then
time to
Kiki Jiki your Fulminator.
Yeah,
that's the dream, obviously. But if you get there, you obviously if you get to 5 lands and they don't have an Ugin in play or something, then you're obviously very favored.
If they have an Ugin in play, you're probably dead.
Yeah, don't play. Stop playing. All right, I believe both players. I think this is game 2. We'll see who's in the play. Ooh, is a sort of Light and Shadow in Nick's hand. Haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah.
Sam quickly mulliganing. It looks like Nick has opted to keep his hand.
So I assume Nick's deck is another Aether Vial deck.
Yeah. How have we seen 3 Aether Vial decks?
I don't know, but I'm liking it.
Of course you are. You have a problem. You're addicted to Aether Vial.
I'm a fan. I'm kind of moving from Aether Vial over to Collected Company right now.
Collected Company, I played it for the first time.
It's a hell of a drug, right?
It is good. Man, for those of you who have not tried playing Collected Company, good lord, that is a unfair Magic card. I think what was Ari's title? Collected Company is great and everyone should play it. Mm-hmm. I think is the exact title. Yeah, that's accurate. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna continue to make just great creatures, then
that cost 3 or less. Yeah.
Then spells that give you a jump on mana and give you great creatures
at instant speed.
Yeah,
it's going to continue to be excellent.
It's crazy.
All right, looks like Sam has opted to keep his opener, and he's going to start off with a Stomping Ground and a Birds of Paradise.
In theory, it's also the kind of card that just keeps getting better, because it's like a card that needs other cards to be meaningful.
Yes.
Kind of similarly to Birthing Pod, actually. Just like both of those cards like having a bigger and bigger format.
Yes. All right, so it looks like we've got a turn 2 Wall of Bonus from Sam, and he's missed his land drop. He does have a path, though, so he has the option to just path his own guy here. Not an exciting prospect, but it is a legal play. Let's see. No, Valexians, you got to understand. Coco is not the same as Augur Bolus.
6 is a lot more than 3.
Will, we both lost in the top 8. I lost in top. Greg lost in top 8. I lost in top 4 at the PPTQ.
Both heartbreakers.
Yep. I mulled to 4 in Game 3 against Abzam Blue.
We did get to intentionally draw with each other
in
the final round.
That was great.
That was nice.
Sam just drew a copy of... Oh, okay. Is that an expedition?
That is an Expedition Horizon Canopy? No.
No,
What land is that?
I don't know.
It could be anything.
I just never know how these stupid expeditions look. I'm not to call them stupid, but like they drive me crazy.
I think it adds gray mana.
Nick has a Horizon Canopy in play, but it's a little different here. I don't know where they are.
Thought I did it.
Anyways, so it looks like we have an end step Aven Mind Sensor coming in for Nick. We'll see if he's got anything else to follow this up with. He's got Forest at least and the sort of Light and Shadow, but he's not quite at equip and attack range. He has at least one more Voice of Resurgence, and he's a Dromoka's Command in his hand. Dromoka's Command seems pretty great here.
It does. Yeah, it's sacrifice an enchantment and fight your Birds of Paradise.
It looks like he's just going to play sort of Light and Shadow here, as well as the... Okay, he's going to play a second Flagstones of Trocaire, triggering the other one.
Okay. Oh, so he...
It comes into play tapped.
Yeah, you don't have the option.
Yes. Yeah, if it came into play untapped, then yeah, it would be pretty great.
I think I would have liked to fight that turn.
Yeah. I think so too, just because you know your opponent's mana screwed.
Yeah. And now...
You know they're not drawing a land next turn.
Now he just got a free land off of Corsair, right?
Yep. All right, yeah, Sam playing a Windswept Teeth off the top of his deck. He's got a lot of options. The Pontiff right here is not the worst, but also not the best. I mean, it does kill Aven Mind Sensor. Mind Sensor here, pretty good against the Windswept Teeth at least. And it's funny because Sam is 1 mana away from actually being able to chord for that Pontiff, but he's not sure if he can hit a land off the Windswept Teeth because of the Mind Sensor.
He also can't. Well, yeah.
Hey, Mark, we saw...
That's awkward.
Okay. Mark has no sound on.
Yeah. So Nick's next turn, Oof. That's pretty good. So Path hits Aven Mind Sensor, which unlocks Sam's Windswept Teeth. Mm-hmm. So I think Nick is getting pretty punished here for not fighting the bird, because this just is going to unlock a lot of Sam's hand.
That is not the Tectonic Edge. I know what the Tectonic Edge looks like from experience.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I have.
The spoils
it's a temple,
of your PPTQ.
It is a Temple Garden.
Okay.
That's what I thought it was. I mean, he's shocked for it. So.
And someone was asking in the chat, Cubs fan, the PPTQ is won by Charles Moltanovich, who is the Absent Blue player who knocked me out.
Yes. Charles also was my only loss in the Swiss.
Yeah.
Charles is a really good player.
He is. I had a freaking heartbreaker against him in the third game.
I also lost to Abzam Blue, mostly of my own accord.
Sure.
I believe I could have won that match if I wasn't an idiot.
I think it was my fault because I sat next to you and made you nervous.
Yeah, that's got to be it. All right, Eternal Wind is coming down, and Sam's just going to re-pick up Path. Ooh, this seems like a tough series of things for Nick to work through. Although giving his voice pro white is at least going to be helpful.
Do you think it comes back to the turn that he played sword and nothing else?
That was last turn.
Like, so many things happened this turn that went horribly wrong for him.
It's true. I don't know. It seems like that's at least some cause of what's happening here.
Sam used the Bird of Paradise to make mana, and he used the Courser of Kruphix to find the third land.
Yeah. All right, so looks like Voice is getting equipped and attacking. Sam looks like he's going to take it. He's going to take 4 down to 13. Nick gains 3.
I imagine Dramoka's command is still going to be good this turn, but...
Can't fight. It's pro-white. You can't even put a counter on it.
Oh my god. Oh, well,
Voice of Resurgence coming down.
Doesn't have the mana to cast a Dramoka's command now.
I just think he's just not going to cast it.
Jeez. I guess he can cash in his Canopy.
All right, Sam drawing the Raging Ravine finds a path on top of his deck, which will join the one he has in his hand. All right, we'll see what Sam wants to do here. He's got Temple Garden, Forest, and Stomping Ground to work with. He has a path which can take out the other voice. He has several chump blockers for this Voice of Resurgence with for a creature wearing the sword, so he's not super worried about that. Plus, I'm sure he has the option to chord for some sort of disenchant effect if he really wants to.
Yeah, probably like Kasali Pride Mage.
All right, so this is a chord for 3. It could also be a Rex Sage. Chord for 3, at least that's what that indicates to me.
Yeah. And this is on Sam's own turn that he's doing this?
Yep, and it is a Reclamation Sage, taking down that sort of Light and Shadow. This seems like a very tough game for Nick to fight, to win through. And there's a path taking down one of these Voice of Resurgences as well. Yeah, Nick's just getting buried in card advantage here. We'll see what he has in his hand. He does have a Linvala. I wonder if Linvala was involved in him winning an earlier game. Linvala seems particularly excellent against Sam's deck.
Yeah, most of these green-white mirrors, Linvala pulls a lot of weight.
Sort of similar to how it used to be in the pod mirror.
Uh-huh.
Although, yeah, Linvala obviously seeing a sharp decline in play after pod's banning. We also see an attack for 2.
This Kiki core deck is definitely the spiritual ancestor, or...
Successor?
Yeah, sorry.
There you go. Sam revealing a Wall of Roots off of his Courser, top of his library. Nick can end step draw a card off this Horizon Canopy, see if he can find himself some more action. Horizon Canopy is such a good card.
It is solid, but I mean, he just drew another land. I think he has multiple other lands.
He's got 2 more canopies in his hand.
Yeah, you can't cash them in quick enough.
No. He wants to turn them into into spells as soon as possible.
That's another land.
Oh boy. See a third copy of Voice of Resurgence in his hand. This is really not like the best matchup for Voice of Resurgence.
No, definitely not. Like, it's okay if creatures are trading and you're getting things to stick around on the board, but it seems like Sam is just too efficient at adding more and more and more to the board.
Yeah, I mean, he has mana creatures is what it comes down to. Like, he's very, very, very good at gumming up the board. He has all these mana dorks, all these walls.
Yeah, and Courser of Kruphix is just so insanely good in a game that's going to get dragged out.
Courser is a comically underrated card in Modern for how good it was in Standard. Right. It was dominant. It was incredibly good, and people just don't respect it. All right. Sam drawing for turn, gets that Wall of Roots in his hand. He has a Wooded Foothills on top of his deck that he has the option to play. Looks like he has both Restoration Angel, and I think he's a little short of courting for the win here.
This deck looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a powerful deck. It's very possible that Sam has the win here. Okay, he's going to gain a life. Was it Pia and Kieran Nolar? How gross is that card with Restoration Angel?
Yeah, I guess Sam's deck, obviously we saw Ghostway. It's not exactly the Jeff Hoogland deck, but it's a lot of things are similar.
Yes.
A lot of the card choices.
Yeah, this is it has Cord. It has the combo in it. It's the crossover is pretty high.
Yeah. He just also has Ghostway.
Yes.
Which currently would be Regrowth and Draw a Card.
Yep.
Which is not awful for 3 mana.
And notably, Reclamation Sage is a May, so he wouldn't have to kill his Courser.
Sure.
Perfect value.
Perfect.
All right, Wall of Roots coming down.
Equips his wall to his other wall.
Value. He has a Resto in his hand. He has the Ghostway in his hand as well. Oh boy. There's a lot of stuff happening here. It's all good. Is this Ghostway? Sam considering it is Ghostway. So this is going to exile every creature Sam has, and they're all going to come back at the end of his turn.
All right, so Nick is responding to Ghostway with Dramoka's command. I think he's added the mana, but is deciding what to name with the modes on command.
God, if only Containment Priest was legal here.
It would be very good against Ghostway.
It'd be rude. All right, Drogo's command, I believe, definitely fighting Eternal Witness. Not sure what the other mode is. Might be Sacrifice and Enchantment.
Yeah, that seems like the thing to do.
That's it. Yeah, getting that Eternal Witness out of there is really important.
Mm-hmm. So now the only trigger that Sam is going to get is...
Draw a card.
Yeah.
Well, and
he could
disenchant nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so he draws the PN Kieran Nalar. Top card no longer revealed, and he passes the turn. Hallowed Moonlight would be pretty good here. Give us that is a pretty disgusting beating there. Ooh, Hushwing Griff. That is a good one in this matchup.
Yeah.
That's a really good one in this matchup, actually.
It's
Torpor Orb on a body.
Yeah.
All right, Nick cracking the third canopy of the game, drawing a Ghost Quarter.
Nick's deck is a little soft to Orzhov Pontiff effects.
Looks like it. I was questioning how powerful Pontiff was, but it definitely looks like it has quite a bit of value. Sam fetching here. Looks like Nick is just passing the turn back. Just getting a tapped Overgrown Tomb. So he is splashing black. I'm assuming for stuff like
Pontiff.
Well, Pontiff for sure. Maybe Sin Collector.
Maybe.
Slaughter Games.
Possible.
There are plenty of options that could be around. All right, Sam drawing. Finds another copy of Wall of Roots. He's going to play it. Let's see what he wants to follow this up with. He does have Resto. He also has Pia and Kieran Nalar in his hand. I'm not sure where it is, Mark.
Is this the right one?
No.
This?
No, we're on the right one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Ignore Mark. That's what I always do.
Yeah, he's very helpful.
All right, we'll see what Sam wants to do this turn. His options right now, Pia and Kieran Nalar, he could just hold up Restoration Angel, or he could Cord. I mean, Cording's not the worst here. I mean, I don't know what he wants to get here. Like, he could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He does have enough to get Kiki Jiki.
When in doubt about
more than that, actually.
Your Cord target, just get Eternal Witness.
No, my rule is get the most expensive thing you can get.
Is that your rule for life, or that card?
In general?
Yeah,
in general. All right. Adding a mana with Wall of Roots, and then here's Restoration Angel. Sam, I think, is going to... So Nick is probably going to respond to this with the Griff. Yeah, and here it is.
Okay.
So this is with Resto on the stack. So Sam has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could... Well, Cording doesn't even do anything. The only way... He has to path that thing.
Yeah, there's no way for him to, like, Cord for Pontiff and get it to kill the Griff.
Yeah.
Like, if he had a Sacrifice outlet, it would work, because he could use the Haunt to get rid of the Griff.
Yeah, and this is also, like, one of the ways he has to kill the Griff is in his hand.
Yeah.
The Pia and Kieran Nalar, like, he has
sure.
no artifacts to toss, though.
Yeah.
Here's a Noble Hierarch coming down. This Elemental's getting pretty big. That's what for those unaware, the token... The card face down there is a Voice of Resurgence Elemental, and it's currently attacking for 5. Sam's just going to chump away, though. Doesn't want to get killed for nothing.
Yeah, this is not... I mean, this board is still pretty stable for Sam.
Yeah.
He has decent amount of time to find an answer. Not having the Courser anymore, though, is definitely detrimental.
Absolutely. So, I mean, even though the Dromoka's command was, it showed up a little later than we expected, was still extremely good.
Yeah.
We could still see him cord for Kiki-Jiki, though. Like, just making, 2, 3, 4s a turn.
Sure.
Doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, I mean, you'll, in all likelihood, win the race then.
All right, here's P and Kieran Nalar not picking up. Yep, yeah, Nick letting him know you're not getting those Thopters. Might have been a small misstep from Sam there. I think he's just realized that.
I think the problem is that he doesn't really have a good turn otherwise. Like, I can't... Unless he had a generically good chord target like Sigarda, something like that,
Sun Titan.
Right. Well...
Okay, we are going to see what he's going to chord for. Oh, Whisperwood Elemental was one he saw.
Shriekmaw to... Yeah, that also...
Oh, no.
Man.
Ooh. Hushwing Griff doing work.
Yeah, attack for 3.
Nick just says sure. I almost want to keep back... I guess you got to win the game some way. I was going to say I kind of want to keep it back because now we have no flying blockers. But yeah, Sam is now behind, I think. Nick, but I want to point out the progress that Nick's lands have done this game. He is I don't often talk about thinning purposes, but although he still just drew another land, but he has drawn 3 Horizon Canopies and 3 Flagstones. So he's really churning through the extra lands in this green white Hate Bears deck. He can also just Ghost Quarter himself.
Ooh, attack for 3 with Hushwing Griff. No flyers on the other side of the board.
Dropping Sam down to 9. There's a pass back. Nick just has a couple lands in hand. He really doesn't have much going on. It's kind of shocking how little Nick is committed. He just hasn't drawn that many spells. All the spells he's drawn have been named Voice of Resurgence.
Getting in for 6 here.
Yep. We'll see if Sam can race here. Worth mentioning that the fear on Shriekmaw will be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. If Nick can find another flyer...
Really just anything that's action. Like a path would be good.
Yeah, removing the Resto Angel would be great.
Wiltleaf Leech.
Even just another Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, anything. I mean...
A spell.
Yeah, he wants to draw a spell not named Birds of Paradise.
Or Voice of Resurgence.
It's not the worst draw.
It's not great.
Nope, definitely not great. Pride Mage?
Solid Pride Mage. That's very solid. That is another point of power on your Hushwing Griff attacking in the air.
Yeah, I think Griff has to be the attacker just because it's getting in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely be tempted to Ghost Quarter myself at this juncture if I'm Nick. Although I guess Sam does have a Raging Ravine.
To thin, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think saving it for Raging Ravine is just better.
He does have a second one in his hand, though.
Sure.
If Sam doesn't activate it this turn, I would be very tempted to just Ghost Quarter myself.
The attack here with Griff, Nick probably has to make it just to keep racing, but if Sam did have a cord, then just getting a blocker and trading with Griff would be pretty juicy.
Yeah, although it would give Nick another token.
Sure.
I don't know how relevant that is.
I kind of think it seems like the ground is just going to get too gummed up. So it looks like Sam has drawn Restoration Angel and is considering whether or not he wants to play it.
I kind of like... Okay, he's just going to chump block with Birds of Paradise.
I think I think I liked blocking there.
All right, so Nick just going to pass back.
Giving one more token doesn't seem like it's going to be...
No, you have so many chump blockers.
Exactly, and I think... so he just didn't... Well, he just didn't play the Angel,
Yeah.
Why not just play on your own turn then? If you weren't going to play on their turn.
And unfortunately for Sam, I mean, if he did in fact have Angel, that would have been lethal. Yeah, he does have the Angel, yeah. So this would have been enough because he had the 9 power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Nick just drawing another copy of Kasali Pride Mage. Good lord.
So now Hushwing Griff has to stay back on defense.
But he's just gonna die to
the second Resto.
No, the Shriekmaw.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's it. Sam blocking and Nick losing that game to Sam.
Weird game.
I'm not certain if we have another game here. Oh, I think we do. Awesome. I definitely forgot to ask what game they were in. but it looks like that was just game 2.
Okay.
So we do get another game here, and they don't have a ton of time.
No.
See players speeding up pretty quick in order to get through to game 3 here. Yeah, he could have ghost scored himself. I think Nick just didn't see the value in doing it right away. It looks like he's both players. At least Nick readjusting his sideboarding real quick.
I think in those kind of situations, I value saving the. I mean, he had 2 ghost quarters, so I guess he could have done with the first. But like,
I don't think the Naya deck plays more than 1 man land.
Sure.
I mean, if it's modeled in any way like Jeff Hoagland's deck,
yeah.
I know he only has the 1 copy of Ghost Quarter.
If Nick
value in many quotes.
If Nick had only had 1 ghost quarter there, would you would be saving it for Raging Ravine?
Probably. Maybe. Like that's the thing. Like maybe even not, just because of how many blockers he had. He had
I guess maybe you think Ravine's never gonna matter.
I don't know if any of those ground, like he didn't really have any other. Yeah, just a bunch of like 0 power creatures, and like he had a Voice of Resurgence that would definitely wanted to chump with. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how these things go in game 3. Honestly, I was very impressed with how good Hushwing Griff was.
It looks solid.
Sort of a much maligned. It really only showed up a little bit. Showed up in Standard for a very small amount of time.
Yeah.
Never seen a lot of play. Imposing Sovereign. Nick really playing every single 2-drop creature he can think of that hates in some way. I wonder how many copies of Aegis of the Gods he has.
I would bet a non-zero amount.
No way. I bet he is. He's got to have 0. That card is so bad.
It's good against Ad Nauseam.
Yes. But only sometimes. Not if they board in Lab Maniac.
It's okay against Burn, maybe?
Maybe. Yes, maybe. I guess.
Yeah.
You can't actually Searing Blaze then.
Yeah, you have to just kill it first.
Yeah, just bolt it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just move on with your life.
So just gain 3 life.
Yay!
So you'd rather play Rest for the Weary, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I think the one anti-burn sideboard card that I've yet to play that I really would like to is Pulse of the Fields.
Sure. Standard All-Star.
Oh yeah. Pulse of the Field. Was it?
Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Block.
There's no way it was a Standard All-Star. That was Affinity Block. It's from Darksteel.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of maybe...
Beacon of Immortality.
It was in Astral Slide, I think.
Pulse of the Fields?
I think so.
I think you have Renewed Faith.
No. Well, both.
Although I would play Renewed Faith.
Yeah.
Gain 6 life? That sounds odd. And draw a card?
No, it's gain 2 and draw a card.
It's like a bad Wall of Omens.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into it.
Blink out your Exalted Angel.
Yeah, Gibbous. Yeah, Patrician Scorn does get Aegis of the Gods real good. All right,
Perfect.
All right. Turn 2 Imposing Sovereign. Get in there. Sam's got a land. Nothing to put there, though.
Okay, cool.
All right, playing Windswept Teeth and just passing back. He does have a Engineered Explosives. I think he's going to try and slow roll as much as possible. Looks like Sam doesn't have green mana here. And there is at least a Kasali Pride Mage in his hand. Eon 2 seems very good against Nick's deck.
I agree.
All right, Sam fetching. Ooh, no.
Yeah, you gotta slow down.
Oh,
there.
gotcha. God, every time. Does he hit?
Nope.
Is this a whip? No, he hits. But it's not the white mana.
And now you shuffle the whole
Oh, man. That. Real quick with the draw there, Nick.
Yeah, you gotta be quick.
Yeah, when you play with this card, like I can't tell you how many times I've played with this card, had to be like, no, like stopping my opponents from doing things just because they might break. I think he does have another Windswept Teeth in his hand. Oh, he's got a Razorworks stick. Okay.
It's sort of like the reverse awkward situation that you get with Aether Vial, where you activate it. And they say, okay, and you put something in, and they say, okay, in response to the vial activation.
Yeah,
No.
No, that's not how that works. Unfortunately for Nick, Sam did hit the land. Wall of Omens coming into play tapped here, value. Nick playing a Forest for turn. He does have green mana now. We'll see if we got an attack for 4 here. And a Gaddock Teague coming down, so no more chords.
As a person who has played a decent amount of Aven Mind Sensor, the amount that trying to hit someone's fetch land doesn't work is alarming.
I've like almost always just flashed it in at the end of turn 3, like,
yes.
and just never hit.
Yep.
Play or draw, just play it.
Yeah.
Oh, notably, Engineered Explosives is also locked out right now. Sam playing a Stonehorn Dignitary?
It's a combo card.
Stonehorn. You cannot attack.
And the card enters the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, but Nick can't even attack.
Yeah.
What do you even do now?
So the Sovereign, that's the name of the card?
Imposing Sovereign.
Imposing Sovereign. It's not really getting its value.
No. Rising Canopy coming down for Nick here.
Gaddock Teague's a spicy one against the Court of Calling deck.
I like Gaddock Teague. Gaddock Teague's also just like a better card than people realize.
Yeah.
Like
it puts a lot of constraints on your own deck.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure Nick has any specific cards he would want to play in that spot. Maybe something. I think the one card I would want to play that he can't cast is Worship.
Okay.
But beyond that, it's pretty good.
I saw a deck on a Magical online result that had 4 Worship.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it like 4-0 to daily or 5-0 to league or something.
Not bad, man.
Yeah, I mean some people just can't kill an enchantment.
Nope. Man, Sam didn't have the combo of also playing a Resto here. He could. Magus of the Moon, I gotta say, is a curious inclusion in this deck. In this definitively 3.5 color deck. He's not gonna be able to play this Engineer Explosives here if that's what he's tapping mana for.
Not this turn. Okay, yeah. So
no, he can't play it at all. It's got X in its mana cost.
Uh-huh. You want to run out there, or do you think Nick's got it because he's a judge?
I'm gonna go stop them.
It seems like they're having a discussion about it. See, Engineer Explosives has an X in its cost, so it cannot be played with Gaddock Teague in play. Okay, getting put back in the hand. Man is being untapped. We are good.
Nick Ageria is one of the most competent L2 judges in the Chicagoland region. MTGCardmarket.com.
Where do you work, Simon?
All right, I shamed him. I shamed him a bunch.
Nice.
I let him know that he messed up. Is anything? Did I miss anything?
No.
Oh, just a pass back? Okay.
I pass, yeah. This Teague is screwing up a lot of Sam's hand.
Ghost Quarter you. All right, top 4. Find a basic?
You would like
how many basics are in this
Basic
deck?
Plains would be an insane hit.
No, sir. And Nick, unfortunately, tapping his Ghost Quarter instead of his other land there. Wasn't able to double Ghost Quarter. He does have a path, though. Although I don't think there's anything he even wants to path here.
No.
Like you would be tempted to path just because.
You could path Birds of Paradise, but why?
Exactly, why?
I think he'd rather just attack for 3.
Yep, that's what's going to happen here. Aven Mind Sensor getting in for 3, dropping Sam to 9. I think we're going to see another Ghost Quarter in a second. Ooh, Sam drawing another basic. Does Magus of the Moon come? Magus of the Moon. I wonder if Nick is gonna go after himself. All right, he's just gonna float a white and path the Magus. Top 4. Do we see another basic?
This is the best I've ever seen Mind Sensor be.
Yeah, by far. I mean, to be fair, when you're playing against a 4-color deck,
that is contingent on searching its library
for basics. Yeah. First of all, searching in the library. Second of all, like he's drawn 2 of his basics. This is pretty great for Aven Mind Sensor here. This is a banner day for Aven Mind Sensor. We'll see if he wants to also Ghost Quarter. No, such restraint. I would not have Nick's restraint personally. I would have fired off that Ghost Quarter. All right, Nick taking 2 here, attacking for 3, putting Sam to 6. That's a Scavenging Ooze. That is an excellent draw. Scavenging Ooze is so good.
It's a great card.
Another card that I can't sing its praises high enough. Because it's just been so amazing every time I see it.
Oof.
I think if I was Nick, I would have been very tempted to Ghost Quarter the Razor Verge Thicket to take Sam off of white.
Yeah. and Path is like one of Sam's few outs.
Oh, he blocked. My mistake. I missed a block there.
Path seems like one of Sam's few outs, so cutting off white would seem pretty fantastic.
Not to mention it cuts off Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
Which is a blocker.
A blocker that eats
else.
your attacker.
Ooh, is Sam gonna fetch here? Is he gonna run the gamble? Oh yeah. Let's see those top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any hits? There's a
hit.
And a basic plains. So for the record, the Ghost Quarter would have bricked.
Yeah.
I think it's a Temple Garden coming into play tapped. Sam shuffling it up. Okay, I'm guessing 4 basics in the deck.
2 forests, a plains, and a mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no chance there's a swamp in the deck.
I agree.
I think if you draw a swamp, you just default lose the game.
Yeah.
So that can't be there.
All right, so it looks like now we are in turn 1, as Satsukwai was nice to ask in the chat.
Yep. Looks like Nick drawn a Birds of Paradise for the turn. Not relevant here. Are we in attack with all mode? No.
It's close, but
so it's like actually no. I think this is a good attack with like almost everything.
Maybe Sovereign's supposed to go in too, because what is it really doing? I guess it
does die.
Yeah, it's going to die to the Dignitary. I guess nothing else would die to either blocker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like Nick did gain a life from that scavenging.
And it also makes any opposing blockers come into play tapped, which is pretty great.
Oh, wow. There are no other creatures in the graveyard because of all Path to Exiles. There's a Courser of Krufix. That is a blocker, but it does die to Kasali Pride Mage if Nick is interested in that.
Ooh.
Okay. So Sam has priority before anything else occurs, so he can play this land.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a Pia and Kiran Nalar in his hand.
Yeah, because
no
imposing Sovereign is not a trigger that goes on the stack.
Nope, just comes into play tapped.
Yeah.
But he's just going to concede because that's lethal. I missed the damage, actually. I'm dumb. Nick Kajeri taking that one down in 3 games. Green-White Great Bears taking down Naya Ghostway.
Gaddock Teague, that
is
the best I've ever seen it in Modern.
Is that the best Gaddock Teague and the best Aven Mind Sensor you've ever seen?
I've seen Teague be really good in Legacy.
No, in Modern.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think that might be the best Aven Mind Sensor I've seen, period.
Yeah, I agree.
Although I've definitely gotten it, like you just forget it exists playing. Like, it happened to me on on one occasion specifically, where I was playing Storm, and just forgot it was a card. Mm-hmm. And I cast Infernal Tutor.
Against what deck?
Death and Taxes. It was Death and Taxes, Greg.
Did they happen to have, like, a port they hadn't tapped? All right, so it wasn't really tipped off.
Oh, wait, never mind. He cast it, and I won anyway. Oh, yes.
What are the odds that was an intentional mistake to string me along? I think decent.
Storm is great. Death and Taxes is terrible.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a good deck, but it's a good deck for idiots.
Like me.
Yeah. Anyways, that was our round 1 here. 3 more rounds of Modern to go.
Yeah. I wonder, so comparing like the decks we'll see today versus decks we'll see on Friday at the Pro Tour.
Okay, so my biggest prediction is that there's going to be a big showing of Eldrazi. Now, what form of Eldrazi that's going to be is really tough to describe, because I think right now, of the lists I've seen, they sort of fall into 2 categories. Like, there's the very aggressive versions that focus on Eldrazi Mimic.
Yeah.
And a lot of like stuff like Matter Reshaper.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people streaming it. I've seen a few lists on Magic Online.
Yeah.
But the curve is a lot lower, and it's really embracing Reality Smasher in a different way.
Yeah, you want your soul lands to be making your cards free or nearly free, not just be discounted.
Okay, I got pairings for round 2 here. Let's watch Nick and Dominic. Do you know what Nick is playing?
Cool.
I know that Dominic is playing Infect.
Sweet. Yeah, I think Infect is one deck that's going to show up in big numbers at the Pro Tour.
Absolutely. Infect is a deck that, lost very little.
Yeah.
Lost literally nothing.
It lost a hard matchup against Twin.
Yeah, I think. Even then, I think it was pretty close, but I think it was not favorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, Infect looks great, and it focuses like if people are going to play more big mana decks, it's the exact deck you'd want to play against them.
Yeah, it seems very good against both Eldrazi and Tron.
Yeah, the other version of the Eldrazi deck, by the way, is the sort of process heavy version that we've seen a lot of.
Oblivion Sower.
Yeah, basically the Oblivion. It's like, do you play Oblivion Sower or do you play Eldrazi Mimic? I don't like playing both.
Oblivion Sower also implies that you're going to have like,
Ulamog.
Yeah.
Maybe Kozilek even.
Instead of Reality Smasher being the top of your curve.
Yeah, although I think you just play Reality Smasher in all the versions, as well as Thought Knot Seer.
Yeah, it's just how high are you going?
Yeah.
How low are you starting?
Blight Herder is also, one that might only be in the process-heavy versions.
Okay.
Wasteland Strangler is an interesting one. I personally think it's not as good in the bigger versions, but it seems really good in the lower-to-the-ground versions.
Yeah,
just because you want cheap Eldrazi.
Yeah. You want a lot of things to cast for like 1 or no mana.
Yeah, stuff like Endless One is one that I hadn't considered. Like it's just a 0 mana 2/2, right?
Yeah.
With Ivugan out.
Frogmite.
Boop.
It's Frogmite or Mirror Enforcer or whatever.
Whatever you want. All you need is you go. I was gonna say Nick Paris and actually wait. Who's Paul playing?
He's playing Simon Gamerow.
We already saw Simon. Oh man.
Maybe next round we'll see Paul.
Yeah, we'll put.
I wouldn't say mind seeing Harrison at some point too, or is he not here?
Harrison's not here.
Okay.
Do you know if are they sitting there?
Yeah. No. Oh, good, they are.
Okay, they are sitting down.
Right, Dom's
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Dom and Nick. Okay, great.
Do you know what they're playing by any chance?
Nick is playing Fish, and
Ooh.
Dom is playing Living End.
He's playing Living. He's not playing Infect.
Nope.
Oh.
Ooh.
He only plays Infect and Legacy.
No, he has it in Modern too.
That's not hard to believe.
Yeah.
This is the exact same card. All right, so it looks like Nick, we're seeing another Merfolk deck, which is unlikely,
I'm a fan.
obviously.
Merfolk is my backup deck for SCG regionals on Saturday.
Do you know what I hope we see a lot of?
What?
Sorry, you know what I hope we see at the Pro Tour
Yeah.
losing? I kind of hope Burn doesn't do well.
Oh yeah, always.
I really just...
I love seeing Burn lose. I love it.
Isn't it? I thought it was a P. I thought it was an A in his name. I'm gonna assume that the DCI has it right, but that's probably a poor assumption.
Is that a pun?
What?
Because of his last name? A poor assumption? Okay.
Don't tell anyone.
I don't know if Phil did that on purpose.
Who knows? Anyways,
It's just really lucky.
both players shuffling up, about to take a look at some opening hands here. Dominic going to be on your right, Nick on the left. So we're not sure what Dominic is playing. Did I miss an R? I did miss an R.
We were told Living End.
Yeah, we were told Living End, so I'll go with what we were told. But I definitely saw him messing with some breeding pools. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Could be either. I just God, I hate Burn so much.
Yeah, I am personally not the biggest fan.
Chris Anderson wrote a very good article today talking about how a lot of people are very hesitant to play Burn because it's a very linear deck and all this, basically singing its praises. And I just absolutely can't stand it.
You're a person that appreciates the finer vintages, such as Court Hussar,
I love a Court Hussar.
Wall of Omens, Sun Titan,
I love Hallowed Fountain is what it comes down
Hallowed Fountain. That's the glue that holds all of your loves together.
to. All right, Wanderwine Hub revealing Curse Catcher and Curse Catcher coming down. I'm not certain if Nick is actually splashing. Wanderwine Hub can often be seen in the mono blue versions just as a non-chokeable blue land.
Yeah, my thinking with Wanderwine Hub now, Choke was played before as a hoser for Twin.
Yes.
I don't know if Choke's going to get played that much anymore. And I would be a little more concerned about just
Blood Moon?
randomly getting screwed by a main deck Blood Moon.
Yeah, I could see that. Although, there really aren't too many of those sort of decks around. I definitely would rather have a lot of Cavern of Souls.
Yeah.
We'll see. Nick got a choice here. Obviously, with the Merfolk deck, you always have infinite 2-drops to choose between.
Yeah, some of them are not very easy to cast, though. I also think about this. So in this matchup, it is tough for Merfolk if you don't have some sort of counterspell to be playing towards by around turn 4 or 5.
Yeah, otherwise you're just going to get wrapped, right?
Yeah, Curse Catcher you can sack in response, to make them pay one more. And it is good because then it gets in the graveyard and will come back after the living end resolves. But, getting the rest of your board destroyed is just pretty devastating. But a lot of the fish lists that I've seen lately have a few main deck copies of Spell Pierce, which could be pretty fantastic here.
Could be. Spell Pierce is not super reliable against living end, though.
Agreed.
Dominic doing the thing that all living end players do, draws living end.
That's why it's in your deck.
Always see it show up. Dominic cracking a fetch land here.
So yeah, living end typically not going to be adding anything to the board except lands the first few turns and just cycling through their creatures, trying to get their graveyard built up, and then start cascading.
Mm-hmm. Dominic actually at 17 here. There we go.
Ooh, Fulminator Mage.
There you go, Mark. I helped.
Really good here.
Ooh, Fulminator Mage is quite good against the all non-basic draw.
I think I might have gone after the land immediately on the Wanderwine Hub, just because, well, maybe Dominic wants him to commit more to the board, actually, to play into the living end.
Very possible. We'll see what he wants to do here.
It also lets him put a block on Master of the Pearl Trident if there hadn't been another Lord. So it looks like we're just going to see a block and a chump. Take out the Mutavault. Okay. That does make sense. Alright, yeah. So by waiting, Dominic was, instead of getting the Wanderwine Hub, he was able to nab the Mutavault, which does seem pretty great.
Alright, Dominic drawing for the turn. See what he wants to do here. He's got a Blood Crypt or a Blackleaf Cliffs because they all look the same.
I think that's a Blackleaf Cliffs. Also sitting on a copy of Simian Spirit Guide, a Violent Outburst, a Living End, and a card that we are about to see. Okay, Fulminator Mage.
Another one? Alright, this is great. More Fulminator Mages you draw, the better.
Yeah, this Fulminator is so good in this deck.
Fulminator is a very, very powerful card. That's a Expedition Tectonic Edge right there in Nick's hand. See? I know what they look like.
Yeah. I do like Tech Edge main deck and Fish.
Yeah.
I think, you want maybe more lands than a lot of people play in the deck. Like, a lot of people have cut down to 19 lands, which I think
that seems completely psychotic.
It's a little aggressive, considering you want to, hit your first 4 land drops a lot of the time. But Tech Edge gives you a way to increase your land count while also giving you some utility later in the game.
All right, so here's a big attack here. We see an attack for 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so
after a block.
Yeah, there was a block on the Master of the Pearl Trident and a sack.
And there's a Mutavault.
I think this is the turn that we're going to see the living end.
The Violent Outburst.
Violent Outburst for living end rather.
Yeah, I would.
I'm surprised to see him pass. Because Nick was tapped out of color mana, and if there is a Spell Pierce, then
that would be a Spell Pierce. A Remand would be devastating.
Right.
Although Remand has really not shown up in the deck in quite a while. All right, 1 mana. There's another Curse Catcher.
All right, I think so. Here, I think Dominic has to respond, right?
Oh no, Nick's playing right into it. He's got the Simian Spirit Guide.
He has a Spirit Guide. Okay, so he gets everything now.
So Violent Outburst. Trigger.
So yeah, Nick thinks. Oh, also you don't want to counter the Violent Outburst. You want to counter. Okay, yeah, he just realized that one.
He's like, nope. You want to try and counter the living end.
But Dominic has him covered here with the Simian Spirit Guide. Pay and Spirit Guide. Ooh boy.
Pay. I get back 4 dudes. All your dudes are dead. Now it's basically up to Nick to see if he can rebuild. But Fulminator Mage is just going to stop that in its tracks. He does get back 2 Curse Catchers.
Yeah.
At least there's that.
So he is ahead in the race. The problem is that Dominic has the option of just blowing up Nick's remaining lands.
Well, not both of them. He does have a basic.
Okay.
But yeah, that
take out one.
Wanderwine Hub's gone. Thankfully, Dominic not playing any islands in his deck, or else he'd be basically still it'd be possible for him to get just punked out by a random number of things. I think when you're playing the Merfolk deck, you need to just commit very little at a time.
Yeah, you really need to have your pacing be patient in most matchups where you're expecting them to interact. Some matchups are a pure race, but that's not most of them.
Nope. All right. Nick taking a big swing for 10 here from these creatures.
Fortunately, this Aether Vial has shown up to the party a little bit late.
Jungle Weaver is so big.
Jungle Weaver is a 4/4?
It is a 5/6.
5? Oh, God.
Jungle Weaver is so big.
Reach? Does it
Yeah.
reach? Okay, it's a
You
spider.
know, that's cycling.
Well, yes, it has cycling.
By the way, Living End does seem incredibly well. Well, no, I'm going to stop myself right there. I was going to say, Living End is a good idea if you never play against the Eldrazi deck.
Burn also seems hard.
Yeah, I agree. Dominant.
Actually, Affinity's hard too because of Arcbound Ravager.
Oh yeah, Living End has a tough time against all those decks.
It's good against Merfolk.
Yeah, that is true. All right, here's a big swing here after Dominic Beast Within his own land. Nick can chump block 2 and then go to 5.
Yeah, so Nick's really loading up his graveyard for the next Living End that might never come. Cycling on. Which card is that?
Architects of Will.
Okay. I was not playing during that particular era.
You're a Lara Reborn Commons?
I'm sorry, I don't. Not most of them.
And that's going to be it for game 1. Nick losing pretty handily to Living End there.
Yeah, I think game 1 is going to be pretty bad there for Merfolk, but now we're going to see sideboard interaction come to play, and...
Counter spells are good.
Yeah. It seems like there should be a number of counters coming in.
So Dispel I see coming in, but Dispel is a very average card in this matchup. In particular, there just aren't actually that many instants in Dominic's deck.
Living End is a sorcery, right?
Yes it is. Man, can you imagine Warping Wailing that thing though?
That seems solid.
I want to see Warping Wail get its time in the sun.
Mm-hmm. It might.
But yeah, this seems very tough to fight through. Like, even if you're boarding in some number of counter spells, the Living End deck always has the option to board in Ricochet Trap to just mess with whatever you're doing.
A lot of Merfolk decks do board a couple Relic of Progenitus, which is certainly a pretty great card against Living End.
Yeah, Relic's a slam dunk.
This looks like Nick is considering taking out some removal, Dismember.
4 Spirit Guides and a Pale Recluse coming out for Dominic for...
Ricochet Traps.
4 Ricochet Traps and a land? No, Gnaw to the Bone. Just as only one though, just as a hedge against the aggression. I don't hate that. It's not the worst. I mean, I think the traps are good for sure because you're playing. I think the rule is if you're playing against the blue deck, just board in Ricochet Trap because they're gonna have negates or something like that post board.
Right.
If Nick does have Chalice of the Void, that would be pretty devastating.
So you're going to be chalicing on 0?
Oh yeah.
I guess the interaction for Dominic would be Beast Within.
It would be draw Beast Within, yes.
Sure.
I could see Beast Within be. Oh. there was a Chalice there.
Mark is saying in the chat that Ingot Chewer would be coming in that spot.
Yes, Ingot Chewer is pretty powerful. I'm actually surprised to not see any Ingot Chewers coming in. Honestly, just for the interaction of killing Vial.
Yeah, killing Vial just can set Merfolk back so greatly.
1 or 2 seem free.
Yeah.
Especially
if you're anticipating Relic.
Yeah.
That's usually the graveyard hate permanent for that kind of deck.
Yeah. If they're going to have any graveyard hate at all, because for those unaware, do not board in Grafdigger's Cage against Living End.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It's worded just right to make it Cage do nothing.
Cage do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sure every Living End player will regale you with tales of their opponents bringing in Grafdigger's Cage and there being delightful judge calls afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm also surprised. Game time. I mean, we'll see if Dominic decides to reassess if they go to game 3 here. It's possible it won't come up. That's the thing.
Well, he also didn't see any artifacts in that game, so maybe there aren't any in Nick's deck.
You saw Aether Vial.
Did he at the end?
Yep, Nick did play it.
Well, I'm stupid.
Yes, it's okay. But you try, and that's what matters.
I tried to be stupid in a different way. Mm-hmm. Instead, I was just stupid.
It will be tough for the Merfolk deck to sort of do its normal thing in this matchup, just because you can't overcommit. Like, whenever you overcommit, you just get completely blown out by what is effectively a wrath. Like the plus side is that ideally you want to go play some guys enough to pressure the living end opponent, make them have it,
and then still have a hand to play after it.
Yeah, and the wrench that we saw throwing into that plan that Dominic presented was Fulminator Mage, because normally, if he had a bunch of basic islands in that spot, he would be able to go Lord or something like that immediately afterwards. And then once again, you're presenting a very fast clock with all these relentless rats. But
basic lands are underrated.
Yeah, but as it stands, because of all the work that Fulminator Mage put in, Nick just so behind on mana when the situation arose. So he was only able to play like one creature.
Yeah, he couldn't cast anything.
This looks like a pretty easy keep for Nick.
Yeah, any hand where you have Vial into Spreading Seas is kind of all you can ask for.
Curse Catcher, Mutavault.
Yeah,
Tidebinder Mage.
Tidebinder's not great. It's a card that you want to hold for after the first living end, kind of.
Yeah, no Lord is a little awkward. He does have 3 lands and a Vial, but you are going to be attacking with the Mutavault, which should be at least be good. Dominic is also mulliganing here. His hand had a lot of lands in it.
Yeah.
So at least that's good news for Nick.
And living end is one of the decks in Modern that probably mulligans better than others.
Yeah, you don't need very many resources, and you're very redundant.
Yeah, and you're seeing a ton of cards with your cyclers in theory, and it seems pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh. I wonder if this deck, Living End, will show much of the Pro Tour. I kind of feel like people might be scared because of the amount of relics.
Oh, I would be terrified to show up with this and play against an Eldrazi deck.
Eldrazi, Tron, both seem pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, looks like a pretty easy keep for Dominic there. Has a couple cyclers, a couple lands, like 1 or 2, 2 lands in the opener is basically ideal for this deck, just because you cycle so much.
Yeah, you're gonna see more lands and all. In theory.
I have to think that Nick is going to be firing off a Spreading Seas here. Dominic will likely respond with a cycle, although he doesn't need to if it's Architects. Yeah, see, you could do it off blue.
Perfect.
Did he draw his card?
No. Nick did. I don't know if Dominic did. I don't think he did.
I also don't think he did, but I am not an expert. I'm not here to remind players to draw. All right. Chris Anderson, Valexians, on the free side of Star City Games, wrote an article about Modern, and he specifically talked about Burn a bit, just because he's been playing it a fair amount. All right, Dominic does not. He's going to need another land in order to get to Fulminator Mage. So there's Wanderwine Hub reveals Silvergill Adept. Well, Silvergill reveal Master. Draw. What, Violin Master here? Yep. And there's an attack for 2.
That's what Curse Catcher is best at.
And this is where I think I would want to stop committing.
Yeah.
Exactly
this
here.
is plenty.
Dominic with several Ricochet traps in his hand.
You also are not necessarily attacking with Mutavault. Well, this turn, in theory, is safe, although Simian Spirit Guide potential could throw things off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chris is a good dude. He's very good at Magic. I think we'll see plenty of Affinity at the Pro Tour, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that another Spreading Seas?
Would probably count as the deck to beat, personally. Yeah. And we saw it win our 2K a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. And there's another Spreading Seas taking out a black mana source for Dominic. This Fulminator Mage looks like it's going to be a while. So he's going to cycle. Unfortunately, because he used the Overgrown Tomb, he drew Carabid, and now he can't cycle Carabid. Little awkward there. That basic land doing damage.
It's great.
Is this another Lord?
All right, so I think now Nick just smells blood. And...
Oh, he not attack with Mutavault?
Yeah.
Oh.
He might be holding
5, 6, 7.
No,
he's
holding up Dispel,
which unfortunately doesn't do anything.
It counters
4, 5, 6, 7.
It counters Beast Within.
8, 9, 10. Putting Dominic to 6. Good lord.
Yeah, I think this draw is too much for Dominic to keep up with. Spreading Seas is very good in this matchup.
Yeah, the 8 Lingering Souls deck does have a good matchup against Affinity. I agree, Will. Aether Vial going up to 3 here. Dominic Shock?
Yeah, he has it, right? I think he has Violent Outburst.
Nope, he has Concede.
Okay.
Even if he had it, no, I didn't see it in his hand.
I guess he doesn't have...
He would have had enough to pay through the Curse Catcher.
Yeah, he would have.
Yep.
I guess he just didn't have it.
Nope. And we're going to go to game 3 here.
Or he couldn't cast what he had, probably.
I think I would be interested in boarding in Simming at yours at this point.
Yeah, Aether Vial is how you lose.
Just them getting out of the gates.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that he was able to, Spreading Seas plus dude, Spreading Seas plus dude,
Yeah,
2 turns in a row.
Way more powerful.
Yeah. When they're forced to choose between Spreading Seas and a creature, then the deck is so much slower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the pressure is just almost a non-issue.
Yeah.
By the way, he did board in some miniatures.
That makes sense.
Dominic's got this. All right, we'll see how this game 3 goes here. Dominic going to be on the play here. I've dropped. Here's your garbage, stupid card.
So I lent our friend Simon a foil copy of Gutshot for his Merfolk sideboard, but he played against goblins in round 1, and notably this is not Path to Exile that can kill Goblin Piledriver.
Yes.
Okay.
In round 2, I played against allies, and I drew it after the triggered ability had resolved, making every creature in his deck larger than 1 toughness.
Well, you should have played it before.
Yeah,
That's the
I guess
point.
it's because Gutshot is like almost certainly an unplayable card in this format. No, it's fine.
It's good against Affinity. End of list.
It's Nick Paris, like the Pokemon, as you would say.
Man, why? Paras?
Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Okay, so he did. I was right to distrust the DCI in this regard.
Always distrust the DCO.
Yes.
All
In
right.
almost any situation.
Can I do commentary with you guys?
The
Okay.
the
I'm
views
gonna-
expressed on this stream do not reflect on MTG Card Market in any way, and they are not liable for any offense we might cause.
No, I stand by what I said. All right, both players drawing their opening 7 here. Dominic looks like he has a land and a Cycler, a Street Wraith. I think he's only on a single land, though. This could be a risky one, but he's got a lot of 1-mana Cyclers.
Nick's hand, on the other hand, seems totally fine. I mean, this is what you sign up for when you play Merfolk.
All right, pay 2 life with Street Wraith.
Almost any hand with Fish that has a 1-mana play, I am sold.
All right, Nick's starting with Forest here. And there's a Curse Catcher. Cycling of Deadshot Minotaur. Dominic can untap. Ooh, we found a Swamp. So this is going to be pretty good. He's got both Demonic Dread and Violent Outburst in his hand.
Jeez.
And I don't think Nick has an answer for it, except for the Curse Catcher that's currently on board.
Yeah, so it'll slow down the combo turn, but as long as Dom hits his land drops...
Which he's pretty likely to do given the plethora of Cyclers at his hands.
Yeah, I don't actually know for... I'm not totally sure. What is the typical amount of lands that Living End plays? Is it like 22?
No, I think it's like 19.
Oh, okay.
It's
Just
pretty
because
low.
you're-
Yeah, because
you're
all your
planning on
deck
seeing
is
so many cards.
1-mana draw a card.
Sure.
Blackleaf Cliff's coming into play here, and this is enough to at least fire off a Violent Outburst.
Harbinger of the Tide is the draw.
And Nick's hand's pretty anemic. He has Harbinger, Dispel, and Tidebinder Mage.
Yeah, I think Nick not... so we don't know for a fact why he brought in Dispel. He might think that he can counter the Living End.
I think it's a fine card to bring in just because it counters Ricochet Trap.
Okay. But you need other counter spells to make it matter then. And
Yes.
we didn't see, like, he had, like,
Yeah,
one negate.
You need it in conjunction with Negate or Unified Will.
Spell Pierce, I guess, if he has that in his deck.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
Spell Pierce just seems pretty soft.
I mean, it would be good right here.
Yeah.
He's putting enough pressure on Dominic that Dom's probably going to be forced to cast his combo card in a spot where Spell Pierce would stop it.
I wonder... Oh, he's going to cycle... Ooh, this is pretty great for Dom. Cycling Pale Recluse.
What does Pale Recluse do?
Pale Recluse is a Plain Cycler and a Forest Cycler.
Ooh. So I'm getting a forest here, I presume?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deathrite Shaman did not do a nice thing to Goblins in Legacy. Yeah, he's going to just get a stomping ground off of the forest cycling. Mm-hmm. Warping Whale? That's awesome.
In
Goblins?
which deck?
In Legacy?
Oh.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing 4 Cavern.
Also, Port and Wasteland.
Some versions.
We definitely play Wasteland.
Yeah. If you're playing Warping Whale, I imagine you're playing
Port
all
and
of
probably
it.
some number of Wasteland. Wasteland.
Some number of Port.
Ingature? Oh yeah. This. I wonder what Dominic has next turn.
Yeah.
The old naked Ingature go. Do we find a negate? Ooh,
Just found Spreading Seas.
That's not going to cut Dominic off any mana specifically.
Yeah, it doesn't cut him off of any color.
If he hits another Spreading Seas,
That
it
is
could take
true.
him off red.
That would be... I mean, I think he has to play it because he wants to... Like, he needs help.
Yeah, and
Drawing a card would be great.
Yeah, negate in particular. If he finds negate, he will be able to get out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just right now just like, I don't know what to put this on, what matters.
I think you just go after the Stomping Ground, but...
Stomping Ground and Black Cliffs,
yeah,
I think, are both a
they're
viable
fine,
choice.
Yeah.
Do we find another one? No,
Looks like you've just found another Marriagery.
He's got a Mutavault. He's going to play Mutavault this turn. And attack for a bunch.
The graveyard's pretty loaded up here. And Nick not attacking with Mutavault, trying to represent...
He played it this turn.
Okay. Well, he is holding up the spell. I mean...
I wonder if Dominic goes... Oh, no, Dominic won't. Never mind. The trick's on board. He's going to pass. I would have almost been tempted to just do that in the upkeep.
Yeah. One more card draw to find a gate would be pretty devastating there.
Animating a
Oh,
Mutavault.
It
Violent
doesn't
Outburst.
feel like Nick thinks he's safe with this spell.
All right, so Dominic's going to go...
Nope.
Nick, once again... Yeah. 1,
Well,
2, 3, 4,
this is not going to end well for Nick.
6. I think Dominic wants to reveal it to him that it's a sorcery.
Yeah. Maybe he said just wait. Wait for it.
Wait for my trigger to resolve.
Yeah. You get your Dispel, but you're not going to be able to cast it.
He drew the negate!
Wow.
Oh, if Dominic had just fired it off on his turn. Oh,
my
no!
Why did he put Dispel on the table?
I think I'm not certain. But that's it. Nick taking that one down because of that top deck negate.
Wow.
I think Dom waiting was pretty greedy.
It was greedy because he wanted the Mutavault too.
I'm not sure. But yeah, Dominic losing that game. I mean, he could have I think I just would have main faced it just to play because he was tapped out of relevant counterspells, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, he had 2 up. Okay, so never mind.
Okay.
Like in Dominic's position, I think it's really hard to decide when you're supposed to go for that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny just because Nick had actual nothing until the last possible turn.
Yeah.
Like
and these Dispels did come in.
He had a couple negates actually.
The new negate art looks very similar to the new Dispel art. Because they both have that beam of light.
It all looks the same to me.
Yeah.
I'm in general not a fan of most of the new art.
The current blocks art direction.
Yeah, this one is so weird. It does look a lot like the Dispel.
Right?
Like almost exactly.
Yeah. It's just not Jace. It's a girl instead of Jace.
A woman.
A lady.
How is this acceptable?
Well, all of the creatures look the same, so they also didn't want to leave out the spells. Anaduz, thank you for the follow, as well as Bazturadan.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'm sure you nailed it. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was one of those two.
But yeah, Merfolk taking down Living End in 3 games. I really thought that Living End was going to take down that last game.
Yeah, I think that matchup kind of comes down to how much like sideboard interaction Merfolk has.
Oh, absolutely. And it was almost just came down to how much he drew.
Yeah.
Like that. The entire game was decided by the fact that he drew that in a game.
Yeah, but that's sort of like the way that the game is going to have to come down. I guess the only other way I could.
Rug Delver versus Kiki Cleaver.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Teamer.
We accept that as well.
Nick, who are the players?
It's Brandon and.
Oh, Brandon Salgado and it's what?
Or is it a different Brandon?
Brandon's playing Delver.
Brandon and Sam Schultz.
We watched.
Wait, different Brandon maybe.
Is there a Brandon Salgado?
Yeah, he's playing Delver.
What did you say the match was? It's not Teamer. It's Kiki Cord.
Oh, it's Naya Ghostway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Ghostway.
Oh, that's what Brandon used to be.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. Looks like we have. Oh, they haven't moved over.
Not yet.
But yeah,
Fish Liver Oil asked in the chat where we got the playmat from. The playmat that's in the play area. We don't know. If you really want to know, you could email CardMarket.
Yep.
I think they would probably be able to tell you.
Yeah, this is unfortunately not something we're privy to.
Yeah, Phil and I don't actually work here.
Nope. Shockingly, we just
do this.
have the apparel.
Yes.
To represent it well enough, and I'm wearing the exact colors to blend into the background right now, so that's perfect.
That's great. Can I just push you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Later.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Looks like we're gonna see Teamer Delver, as they say.
Yeah, I imagine it's the Todd Anderson list.
Yeah.
That he won the first 5K with in Atlanta.
The first classic, yes.
Yeah.
Which is a 5K, but well, it's not. No, actually, it's not a 5K because
it might be more.
Well, you technically don't. Well, you don't win cash.
Oh, not anymore.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be called
a Premier IQ.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that paid cash.
Yep.
Now it pays boxes.
Prize wall points. Mostly store credit, I think.
Okay.
It's like it's a comparable amount in store credit.
Sure. That's not the worst.
No, it isn't the worst, but it's not cash. Anyways.
Can't pay your rent.
No, you can't. Not with store credit. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna be seeing Teamer Delver.
Yeah.
Playing against what is this?
We saw it last round.
Witch Maw?
I don't know. I do not know the Nephilim. Everything but blue, I'll call it.
Yeah. Let's just look up the Nephilim real quick. No, let's look up. I want to look up Witch Maw Nephilim.
Cedric Cool.
This is it. No, I was wrong. It's not Witch Maw Nephilim.
God, you're so dumb, Phil. Cedric Cool. We actually don't stream standard yet. We don't have a night where we would.
No, I believe that they're finally starting to do some standard, but
yeah,
there's not a real.
They're trying to get a following for Monday night standard. They also have standard F&M here, but it's kind of hard, I think, to convince me or Phil to do casting on a Friday.
I would agree. I mean, if for nothing else, if we're not out of town, then we're just busy. I think it's just that we're reticent to commit another night of our week.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon is on the left here, playing Teamer Delver. Every time I say it, it just doesn't sound natural.
Rug Delver.
No, I'm typing it right. You can't stop me.
To Teamer. You did it so right.
Is it fair for me to call this a Naya Ghostway deck?
Can you call it to Teamer real quick?
Thank you for the true support I'm getting. Sam Schultz we saw play last round, playing this Ghostway deck. This Ghostway deck looks sweet. I like this deck. It's I don't know if it's necessarily better than the deck that Jeff has been playing a lot, but it is very similar if nothing else.
Yeah, it's fundamentally similar.
Yes.
It's just a few card choices are different.
Brandon looks like he's taken down the previous game. So he's starting off with a turn 1 Delver, which is gotta be the best possible since you need as many chances to try and flip this Delver.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they don't flip that often in this format.
No. Often your hit count is sort of a pretty low 25, 26.
What are your thoughts on blind turn 1?
Blind turn 1, well, turn
2. Blind turn 2 flip.
Hit the best possible. Because I think Vapor Snag is probably Brandon's best card in this matchup. He's presumably not going to be winning a very long game.
Yeah.
And what his deck is good at doing, though, is applying a lot of pressure to the board in the first 2 or 3 turns. Here, we see that Brandon I think he has Tarmogoyf in his hand. I would have a lot of interest in trying to get that in play ASAP. But maybe he doesn't have it, actually.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, I thought maybe it was one of the breeding pools or something looked like a Tarmogoyf for a sec there.
What's speculating there, buddy?
Because if you had Goyf there, you have to be slamming it.
Yeah. You want as many creatures in play as you can get.
Yeah, before the board just becomes too littered.
Thank you for letting me know that I messed that up.
What kind of messed up?
I messed that up.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Valexians. Did not notice that. All right, Birds of Paradise coming down for Sam. He really needs a path here, I think. Like, it's path, or you have to just resolve a resto. He does have Kiki-Jiki in his hand.
Is that explosives that he has in his
Yep.
hand?
He does have explosives.
So explosives on 0 would do it here.
Yeah, we'll just kill the Delver.
Yeah, which is kind of all he wants to do. I think that's what we're seeing the question being asked right now is what converted mana cost Insectile Aberration has.
It is 0. When the flip cards are on the opposite, are face down effectively.
Yeah.
No, face down is really the wrong terminology. When flip cards have flipped, they have CMC 0.
Right.
So, Delver of Secrets, Huntmaster of the Fells, Insectile Aberration, Ravager of the Fells.
Yep.
Garrick the Veil Cursed.
What's the flip side of the vampire that makes other vampires?
Bloodline Keeper's flip side.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bloodline Keeper's flip side.
Okay, I can do this. It's in my cube. I should know this. Oh god. We're both struggling here. Bloodline Keeper's flip side. It's like
I've played that card a fair amount.
I know
it
what
never
it does.
flips.
Well,
the game ends.
Well,
before it flips.
as soon as you activate it, they concede. Is usually what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Mayor of Averbrook flip side is ooh. I should know that one too.
We are having a bad night.
Mayor of Howlpack Alpha. That's the other one. But
I wasn't gonna remember that one.
Lord of Lineage
All
is
right,
the one.
was never gonna remember Lord of Lineage.
Well, I knew there was like a Lord type name to it.
I knew that it had to do with line. That was the only thing that I had in my head.
So one thing Sam is doing here, he let Brandon untap with this Delver.
Yeah.
And I think I would have been interested in, after Brandon resolved his fetch land and was clear that he was putting a tap land into play, I would have liked to have cracked the explosives now, because you know that Brandon has Vapor Snag. You don't necessarily want him to just save his Delver with it.
Yeah, because you could do it, so like Brandon cracked his fetch on Sam's turn?
Yes, at the end of Sam's turn. And yeah, this is exactly what I was warning about. Like, this was an avoidable situation.
It's kind of seems a little bit loose on Brandon's side too, actually. I don't think I would crack the fetch. Like, because cracking it before you have untapped your island that's already in play.
Yeah, Brandon could have just Brandon did play a little bit into it, but Sam was not able to take advantage of the play.
Yeah.
Brandon does take 1 from Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag, a card haven't seen in a while.
Card is dope.
Yeah, you love this card.
Way too much.
Shocking himself here with Breeding Pool. See if we have... there's a Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf appears to be Artifact, Land, Instant Sorcery. That's a 4/5 right there. That attacks through all omens.
Yeah, it's a Tarmogoyf.
Sam can actually play a Kiki-Jiki this turn and get a card if he wants to. He has the combo, though. He has Resto. I would be very interested in just main phase Restoration Angeling.
Yeah, walking it into a remand would just be the worst possible thing here.
Mm-hmm. Also got a Path to Exile.
Oh, it looks like he's passing. Yeah, Brandon must be thrilled to untap with nothing happening on the other side, because he does have Remand in hand, I believe.
Yeah, being able to Remand a Restoration Angel is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it does have Flash, so it isn't the absolute best. Yeah, like, Sam is going to attempt to block... Oh, what?
So Thought Scour...
Oh, Thought Scour myself?
Okay. So maybe he's trying to add a card type to the graveyard. So let's resolve this in the correct order, guys.
Okay, so Thoughts...
What is happening? What's on the stack? Did Resto resolve?
It appears like it did.
Why would Brandon not remand that? I guess that's very confusing to me.
It might have been... yeah, he does have the remand. I definitely think... I definitely would have been interested in remanding.
Yeah, I feel like things were done too quickly there.
Yeah, both players moving pretty quickly. I think they... Perhaps Brandon just didn't care, but I think I would have been interested in just getting as much damage in as fast as possible.
Yeah, and he has no way left. I mean, he has Snapcaster for Vapor Snag if he gets the opportunity, but he doesn't really have a good way of dealing with the Resto Angel permanently.
Well, Yeah, so like what the thing is, he is protected at least from the combo for at least some chunk of this. He has Remand. He has a Snapcaster in his hand.
Ooh, very aggressive, attacking with Resto here.
Ooh. Can't say I expected that.
If Delver flips,
I would definitely not crack this fetch land if I was Brandon. Like what? Like clockwork. As soon as I say it. I was gonna say the reason not to crack the fetch land is to get a sort of a free scry.
Yeah.
While the Delver's in play. There's a Hooting Man. Oh, I forgot there are Hooting Mandrills in this deck. All right, tap Steam Vents coming into play.
I think we've seen a few things here where
Little sloppy play.
it's like a little too much like autopilot, or just like doing things too quickly, like trying to think about the ramifications of your small decisions.
Yeah. All right. Brandon fetching up a tap Steam Vents with that Wooded Foothills. Yeah, he does have Remand, he does have Snapcaster. I don't think he has any action besides that, though. So this Restoration Angel is pretty problematic. He does need to flip this Delver pretty quick, though. Whew! Whew!
Ask and ye shall receive.
Look at this guy. Who says Delver isn't flipping Modern? 2 for 2, blind flips. So he's got a Spell Pierce into his hand, which will be good against potential Court of Callings. I mean, well, may be good against potential Court of Callings, but also might be
A dead card.
yeah, it's pretty easy for Sam to play around it.
Yeah, I mean, the only spell that we've seen Sam draw is Path Exile, and I think he has no spells in hand currently.
Nope.
He could get Path back with an Eternal Witness that's in his hand, and he would still be able to cast. Well, he wouldn't be able to cast it around a Spell Pierce this turn, but
No, he'd be a mana short without a land drop.
right. So next turn potentially we could see that happen.
Stonehorn Dignitary. It's got to be a juicy Remand target here.
Yeah. The Remand that we thought we were going to see before.
Sam reconsidering this. He does have the Kiki-Jiki and a Spellskite. Spellskite is a pretty interesting one to start with.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little insurance, I guess.
Well, it just means he's protected from like a bolt or a snag,
yeah.
Disrupting the actual combo once it's in play. He does have to get it in play though. All right, attack for 3 coming in. See if Brandon does anything about it. Or he's just gonna take it.
The thing we see here too, Delver can get chump blocked for a couple turns if need be.
Yeah, Sam is favored in this spot for sure. Ooh, here's Eternal Witness coming down. See if Brandon wants to Remand this. Yeah, it looks like he is going to. Ooh, there we go.
Here we get Remand.
Eternal Witness going back in Sam's hand. I'm interested in doing that just to see more cards right now. Like, Brandon is very short on action, and holding Remand is not going to lead to a good situation.
Agreed.
He did draw another one.
Now he's another.
See, we got things happening, although unfortunately he does have just another land. This deck does run very few lands, so Brandon flooding out a little bit here.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, 7 lands? He's outlanding the Birds of Paradise deck.
Sure. I mean, if the game is dragging on this long, you are going to draw more of them, though.
Yeah. Actually, he's the 8th land in his hand.
Sure. That is kind of a flaw of the deck. You know, it's not good at. It doesn't have any mana sinks.
That's what happens when you don't have Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Can't just put back those extra lands, shuffle them away. But that's good. Brainstorm's way too powerful.
Yeah.
I am not of the opinion that like Brainstorm should exist in this format.
Instead, there's Corsair of Crewfix.
Yay! I like Corsair.
Yeah.
Sam drawing an Eidolon of Rhetoric.
Good against Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, specific. Yes, not ideal outside of that, but the Temur Delver deck has a lot of cheap spells, and it tends to run, playing several spells per turn. It runs best when it's playing multiple spells per turn at least.
I kind of get the sense with Eidolon that it's good in this deck because you're not usually looking to play, like, it's not really hurting yourself at all, and it's just annoying enough against a good amount of decks, and people also aren't used to playing against that card in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty easy for people to mess up their sequencing because of it.
Yeah. All right, looks like Brandon is going to Snapcaster Remand Sam's Eternal Witness, drawing a Thought Scour in the process. Now it's up to Sam. He's a little short on lands, and Remand is a pretty punishing card when you're short on mana.
Yeah.
But Sam still has a lot of blockers, although it is worth mentioning that these blockers are his mana sources.
Yep.
Brandon going to fetch down to 7 here, but now He has elected to hold back the Restoration Angel, deciding that he's not favored in this race.
Yeah, he has a lot more inevitability, I would say, in his deck, and drawing lands will be great for him.
Brandon wisely fetching a dual land here. I mean, I'm always a proponent of fetching your basics last against path decks.
Makes sense.
Especially when you know that Sam has the Eternal Witness, which is almost certainly going to be getting back a path if you have to let it resolve in the future.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brandon drawing a Tarmogoyf here. An okay draw.
Not great on this cluttered board.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what are his great draws here?
Bolts.
Yeah.
Well, Bolt that doesn't be the spell guy. Yeah. Actually, I think Tarmogoyf is one of his better draws.
Yeah, I guess it has to be.
Especially, like, his best draws are Sam not drawing lands.
Sure. And I guess more remands would be good.
And he has another. Oh, no, he does. Sorry. He used the other. He has a Spell Pierce. Oh, no, I was wrong. Sorry, I was right originally. He has a Remand, a Spell Pierce, and a Thought Scour. Spell Pierce is an interesting card in this matchup. I gotta say, it's not super powerful, you know?
I agree. I think you might just not have other good cards.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
And hopefully it can trade with something.
Yeah. So Sam drawing another copy of Engineered Explosives this turn. 4 mana. Is this Stonehorn Dignitary? It is. Any 4 mana spell has got to just say Remand me on it.
I have to imagine that it's going to hit. Maybe. I think Brandon said okay.
Oh, no.
I feel like a lot of okays have been said very quickly.
Are we remanding?
Okay.
We are remanding.
All right.
Stonehorn Dignity going back to the grip. And another Misty Rainforest drawn for Brandon here.
These hand gestures are really psyching us out.
There's not the usual pause, you know?
Yeah.
Explosives.
On 0.
On 0. Do you just Spell Pierce this?
An awesome Spell Pierce target.
Yeah. Spell Pierce that. Get that out of here.
That is the best that Spell Pierce could possibly do,
yep.
I think.
Unless Sam's slow rolling it as a path. Alright, Brandon going to cast a Thought Scour targeting himself on end step. Flipping.
Issue is...
Oh, there's a Snapcaster.
Yeah.
Pitching a land and hitting a Young Pyromancer.
If that had shown up a lot earlier, it could have been great.
Yeah, as it stands, he has just no spells. Grim Lavamancer, though, that is a pretty good draw.
That has to be one of the best draws possible. I think...
Especially because this a lot of these creatures are just going to have to chump block Tarmogoyf.
So
although I think Brandon's...
Is Goyf a 5/6? Because of artifact in the graveyard?
Yeah, there is an artifact.
I think we have sorcery and instant.
We do. We have chump block mode. Although I think Brandon has no answers to the key, Jiki.
Yeah.
So if Sam just jams...
Which he might not.
Yeah, it depends. If Brandon decides to play... If Brandon goes to 1 card in hand, I have to imagine that Sam just plays key.
You just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that can happen is that he has another remand?
He could have, like, Mana Leak, maybe. But at this spot...
Are you really beating that?
Exactly. I think it seems like he's going for it.
Oh.
No fear.
And Brandon just has a land in his hand.
Yeah.
Wonder what it's targeting. And that's good. And that's it. Sam takes down that game. Do we have a third game here between these players?
I think that's what we have.
Sorry, they moved over when we were not told what game they were in. But
it could be the match, actually, because we only have 4 minutes left in the round.
We said that last time.
That's true.
We've been wrong before.
I guess they are not de-sideboarding. And they are shuffling in some amount of earnest or haste.
Yeah, I think we do have a third game here. I don't know if it's going to be able to finish.
Yeah, it seems pretty unlikely. Unless they have a time extension for some reason, but we have not been informed of such extensions. So, Phil, what are you going to play on Saturday?
Great question. I'm pretty sure I'm going to play 4 Sun Titans.
Okay. What is scaring you away from playing Ad Nauseam?
What is scaring me away from playing Ad Nauseam? I'm pretty concerned that the deck isn't actually as good as I think it is.
Okay. Why do you say that? Like consistency or speed or weakness to various amounts of hate?
Basically consistency.
Okay.
Like it's and also just like I don't like that it matches up pretty poorly against a lot of the aggressive decks in the format. Like, you're great against Burn.
Just because of your Angel's Graces and
your 3 main deck Phyrexian Unlifes.
Yeah.
Also, post-board Leylon. It's like your whole deck is just well constructed against them.
Okay. How about Affinity?
Bad.
Yeah.
And Infect, also bad. And I just much rather have reasonable matchups against those decks.
How is Sun Titan against those decks?
Much better. I mean, you're white, so you get instead of being the deck that gets Stony silenced, you're the deck that Stony silences others.
And then Supreme Verdicts.
Yes, having 4 Supreme Verdicts post board against a deck like Affinity is, for those who haven't tried it, outstanding. It's really nice. Yeah, Will, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play it, and I kind of want to play a Jace Architect of Thought for decks like yours. Well, the problem, actually, I think that Tokens is pretty favored against ad naus, unless the card Leyline of Sanctity is involved. Red Green Sean is actually, I think, a pretty good matchup for the Sun Titan deck, barring any sort of shenanigans where they just run you over they just nut draw you.
Yeah, you have like some mana leaks to.
You have counter spells and you have 4 Ghost Quarters, and I'm very close to playing a Crucible of Worlds in my sideboard.
Is it going to be sourced from your cube?
Don't have it.
Okay, so you will be sourced from
elsewhere. Don't know where. $75 card. But I haven't really decided yet. I don't have the specifics up, but I love this Sun Titan deck. It's really, really fun to play.
Yeah.
And I think it is pretty strong. Oh, there's 2 Prairie Streams in the deck, Will.
You've also won a 5K with it.
I did. But I also did terribly in another one.
Well, what can you do?
I started off 3-0.
That's good.
All right. Looks like we've got a Scavenging Ooze coming down for Sam here. We just got like all creatures. Although Sam's land should be tapped, right?
He played Scavenging Ooze this turn.
There we go. Okay. All right, Brandon untapping here. This is just the mono creature. Oh, it looks like we're actually in turn 1. Hey, we flip.
Yeah, and we see 3 of Sam's cards laid on the table from his hand. They're just evidence of an earlier Gitaxian probe.
Resto, Stonehorn Dignitary. 2 Delvers flipping here. Bolt has got to be going after the Scavenging Ooze too. Oh, he's got 2 bolts and a snag?
Are you sure that Bolt's not going upstairs?
Might go upstairs. I want to kill the Ooze to get my Goif in there, but
he really need.
I just want to make 1/1s as fast as possible.
Yeah, which is why I think Bolt upstairs. Like
he only has 1 red mana though.
Okay, all right. So Vapor Snag on Scavenging Ooze. Ooh.
It's gonna respond by eating a sorcery using the Ooze and a counter on the Wall of Roots. He could
shrink Scoive.
Shouldn't a mana be tapped here?
Yes. I will run.
They should figure it out.
Maybe. They should.
Okay. Sam figuring out blocks here. Looks like we have Wall of Omens on Young Pyromancer. 6 damage coming through here, taking Sam down to 11.
It smells so good out there. Someone got barbecue. So good.
All right, Brandon opting to hold his bolts, hoping to burn out Sam here in the waning moments of this game 3.
Ooh, EE40.
That
should
is pretty
lock
great.
Up the draw.
That's how I would describe this. EE40 is a big game.
That card is just great. It's so flexible and a very unique effect.
Stonehorn Dignitary coming down. I think Brandon's got to be regretting not bolting this Wall of Roots.
It's added a lot of mana.
Just bolt you.
I think with that Engineer Explosive, it's just going to be too little.
Yeah, he's going to need to draw another bolt. No, 2 more bolts.
I mean, he gets...
So there's a Goif.
He doesn't get an activate, like another hidden.
No.
Stonehorn.
It's just gonna get restoed. Like if the draw is there. Brandon does not just win because of the Stonehorn. He misses his combat step.
Yeah. Yeah, Stonehorn Dignitary.
Doing work. The Rhino himself.
Yeah.
The other Rhino.
This is the Rhino I hear everyone complaining about, I think.
Yeah, this is the OG Rhino.
Yeah.
Resto Stonehorn Dignitary.
Resto Stonehorn.
You cannot attack me.
No remand.
I think, yeah. So Sam's turn 4 here. He's going to play a land. He's got Bird's Ooze. Bolt you. You're at 5.
Don't think there's a draw in the deck.
Nope. Just a Rending Volley. Which a while ago would have killed a Stonehorn Dignitary, but that's going to be a draw for these two players, Teamer Delver and Naya Ghostway. I think if the game kept going, Sam was pretty favored.
I agree.
Which
is how I feel about any of the games in this matchup going long.
Yes, I think so too. Just the value creatures are just so good in a longer game.
Yeah, I mean, Delver decks typically just don't really want to play against decks with a lot of creatures. And, like, creatures that are good at blocking.
Specifically, I mean, like, when one of your main forms of removal is Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
Like, the Vapor Snagging the Wall of Omens deck is not ideal.
The Stonehorn Dignitary deck.
The Restoration Angel deck, like...
Yeah, it's a deck full of creatures with enter the battlefield value.
Yeah, the best creature to Vapor Snag is probably...
Birds of Paradise?
Yes. Birds of Paradise, Kikijiki in response to the combo, I guess, counts there. But in general, yeah, your Vapor Snag is pretty poor.
Yeah, I agree.
Past later in the as the games go longer.
Yeah, it seems like to win that matchup, you really need to have a very good fast draw with
Delver.
Delver, yeah.
Yeah, but
that's what you signed up for.
Sam having multiple copies of Engineered Explosives in his sideboard gives him a pretty significant advantage when it comes to that.
Paul Green, did he win?
Morelli?
Oh, Morelli.
Oh wait,
he's playing. Yeah.
Do you know who he's playing?
I'll know in a second.
All right.
Do you know if he's doing all right?
He's 1-1. He beat Simon last round.
Morelli? Okay.
We're gonna watch a sweet deck.
Hada Freeblade.
Oh, hold on. I know it. Jwari Isle Shape.
I'm going for easier ones. Lantern Scout.
Haribaz Druid.
Aether Vial.
Kazandu Blade Master.
I'm out.
Lantern. Did you say Lantern Scout?
Yes.
He's playing Sam Schuss.
No! We can't watch it. We watched him twice now.
3 times.
He's literally been on an extra feature match. Like
We can't put him on again.
What's Nathan Mullen playing?
Nathan is playing
Titan Shift. Joey Mispagels, Titan Shift.
Oh, he's not playing regular Scape. He's not playing regular Scape. Rug Scape Shift.
I don't know if I thought he was playing Titan
Let's
Shift.
watch that.
Well, let's put Nathan on. Do you know who he's playing against?
Maybe he's also playing against.
Oh, he is 2-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primeval Titans.
I hope so. I like that version of the deck just because it's just so straightforward. Here's what you do. You cast a ramp spell, and then you cast another ramp spell, and then you cast either Scapeshift if it kills them, or Primeval Titan if it does if Scapeshift doesn't kill them.
And hopefully Primeval Titan kills them.
It probably kills them. I would be shocked if it doesn't kill them. How often? You only really need... Primeval Titan is basically explosive vegetation in the deck, but for Valakut.
It's also a 6/6.
Yeah, but like they path it, and then you get a mountain, and then you breathe them upstairs. It's delightful. I love it because like someone described the deck a while ago. Oh yeah, it is insane against the Kiki Core deck. Someone described the Titan Shift or the Valakut when it was in Standard as a mono red deck, a mono green deck, splash 12 mountains, and that's basically exactly what it is.
That's correct. He is on Rug. He couldn't borrow all the cards in time. He borrowed it from Dominic.
Okay.
Hey,
So-
do you think I can get these cards at some point?
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Not the Nettle Sentinels.
Why?
Do you
I
really
just want them.
Okay, whatever. Do whatever you want.
He's playing against Austin Herrick. I think he's on your beloved.
Austin Herrick? Oh, he's playing some Miria. This seems
Ooh.
like a very bad matchup. This is really hard to win. Can say from experience.
So you.
I played this matchup on Magic Online, and it's bad.
So Pilgrim's Eye, you would say, does not match up well in the Titan Mirror.
No, because they have like 4 cryptic commands and a lot of other relevant spells, and you have Cortazar. it's just not ideal.
Yeah. I mean,
If this was Titanship, would it change the matchup?
It would be worse.
It would be worse. That sounds about right.
At least you have some good relevant sideboard cards here. Ghost Quarter plus Surgical Extraction is great. Meddling Mage is great. I've shockingly won games playing blue control decks against Scapeshift just by going turn 2 Mage, name Scapeshift, and then protect the Queen. Sit there, don't let it resolve. Don't let anything that kills it resolve. But we'll see what Nathan has to deal with that sort of plan. I think in general he's going to be very favored. The problem is that like the main way the Titan deck has to apply pressure is a 6-drop. And 6-drops are just so bad.
Against Remand.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we did have confirmation that Nathan's playing the blue version of Scapeshift, not just the straight red green.
He's not playing Titan Shift. Those are the delineations I would add.
I don't see any.
Oh no, he's playing. There are gifts in his deck.
Oh.
That's why.
Okay.
That's why you see the Eternal Witness. It's there for gifts piles, but he has a lot of ramp. Actually, this is just a really great hand.
Yeah, he has no payoff yet, right? That's what he's missing.
No, he has Scapeshift.
Oh, okay, perfect. Then.
Yeah, he's like He has Search for Tomorrow and 2 Tribe Elders.
Why doesn't everyone play this deck?
Because you just get Thoughtseize sometimes, and it stinks.
Ooh, taking a pain, playing out a blocker.
Steve, my good friend.
Yeah.
Sakura Tribe Elder.
Why is his name Steve?
STE. Steve.
Oh. That's cute.
Yeah, this isn't quite Battle of the Titans level, but it is pretty good. Search for Tomorrow resolving here. Probably gonna pick up an island. Oh, sleight of hand. Why? Okay, so I know this is Dominic's deck for a fact, and I'm saying that because there are sleight of hands in here.
Yeah.
Of which I have strongly advocated against. You can argue with me all you want. Dominic has argued with me on several occasions, but
I'm not gonna argue. Sleight of hand stinks.
It is a terrible card.
Yeah. I played that card in Storm. That card's not good.
Played in Storm. I played it in. I have it in Ad Nauseam right now. It's just a bad card.
Yeah.
Note here that Nathan has not sacrificed his Tribe Elder, and there's a good reason for that. And it's that he wants to get Austin to 18.
Okay.
So that you kill off 7 lands.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So there's another forest. A very blue light draw here.
Yeah, definitely would make casting Cryptic Command pretty tough.
Oh, there's Eternal Witness.
Get back.
Search
Yeah.
and suspend it.
That's awesome.
Good use of all of his mana.
Yeah.
Austin
and
actually
adds to the clock.
Yeah, this is all basically the same here. Although this. Okay, so this is actually worse. Nathan actually would have killed him next turn if he played Tribe Elder.
Okay. That's pretty absurd.
Yeah, you can turn 4 kill with 3 ramp spells.
Yeah.
You just don't always have 3 ramp spells. So you pretty rarely have 3 ramp spells. Ooh, snow covered, right? Snow covered plains. That's the Ice Age.
Yes.
So I say that. So if Nathan had just played Tribe Elder here, he sacks both. That's 6 lands. He has a land in his hand. That's 7.
Yeah.
Scapeshift kill you.
Yeah, well, it would have worked out if Austin turn was still going to be just Court Hussar, but...
Actually, this works no matter what. He fetches here.
Okay.
That's 5. He plays his land. That's 6. He plays Tribe Elder, sacks it. Yeah, he has the kill.
Oh, because he has 6 mana.
Yep.
Okay. That's pretty absurd.
As long as he sacks this Tribe Elder, he kills his opponent next turn.
It's so crazy that the kill only needs 4 mana.
Well, and 7 lands.
Well, I understand, but like on the turn itself, like you can do other stuff.
Yeah,
alongside
it's why the
pretty
kill.
easily.
It's why like cards like Mana Leak are just so bad against the deck.
Yeah. Even Remand can be played through if you have 8 lands and 4 green sources.
Very easily, yeah. It's why I always thought that the twin matchup was actually not that bad for Scapeshift. The only hiccup being the card Blood Moon.
Right.
But it's really not that hard to fight through.
Yeah, it felt pretty tough, I think, from the twin side.
Yeah.
Times I got to play against it.
Yeah, I think Scapeshift, just because of the mana advantage. Like, you end up being the better Remand deck.
Yeah. And then they just like play Inferno Titan.
Oh, don't get me excited. Nathan drawing for the turn here. Has the kill in hand. in a number of ways. Because he has also a Search for Tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, if he plays either of his ramp spells, this is just the game.
Yeah, I envision that Nathan will see the line. Yep.
So here's Tribe Elder.
So you can just play. Oh no.
I think he missed it.
Yeah, not doing it. Not winning the game.
Yeah, because he still has the land in his hand.
Right. Yeah, he hasn't played Stomping Ground for turn.
Yeah, all he needed to do was sack one of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do way more damage now.
He is. And if Austin has a negate, though...
That'd be pretty great.
Yeah.
For Austin.
How many does Amiria typically play?
1 or 2.
Main deck?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
the last time I played the deck, I had 2 main deck.
Now would be a pretty sick time to have one.
Agreed. Mana Leak is not ideal.
Yeah, not going to cut it at this point in time.
I'm not even sure Austin has a land here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he does.
There's just so many dead cards in the blue-white deck, in the main deck. Oh, it's really, really terrible.
How many lands does Amiria play? 25?
24.
26? 24, okay. I guess you have a lot of cycling.
Yeah, Austin just discarding a path to hand size.
Oof. Rough.
All right, Tribe Elder getting sacked here. I mean, we're just going to have to see if he has the negate. That's really his only point of interaction. And, like, Nathan could still just draw a Cryptic or a Remand.
Yeah. And it's not like he loses the game on the spot or anything.
Nope.
Just play on at that point.
Yeah,
Although Nathan
you have
is
3 more auto wins.
Yeah. He's down to not many cards in hand, but he's also gotten a lot of lands out of his deck.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him finally fetch up another mountain here. I think he's out of forest and island basics. Typically the lists play 2 to 3 forests and 3 islands.
Okay. Is he?
He's counting to make sure he has enough mountains. Nathan has never played this version of the deck. This is his first time playing it.
Okay. So we're figuring things out as we go here.
Yeah, I think he's just basically making sure that he'll have enough mountains in his deck. He will. There are 10. Or actually, there's 11. I think Dom had a Cinderglade. Is he not going to find it?